Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Ever find a penny on the ground and think, meh, just a penny, right? Well, what if I told you that one of those ordinary looking pennies from 1969 with a tiny D under the date could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? Yeah, I said it, $1 million for a single coin that you might have just tossed in your car's cup holder or fed to a vending machine that gave you Funyuns instead of chips. Yup. And today we're gonna dive deep into the story of the 1969 D. Lincoln penny that turned heads in the coin world and could possibly turn your piggy bank into a gold mine. Grab your coin jar, your magnifying glass, and maybe a snack. This is gonna be a fun one. Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot one yourself, and why checking your change just might pay your rent for a year or 10. Picture it, 1969, the Beatles are still together. Bell bottoms are the height of fashion and everyone's watching. The moon landing on grainy black and white tea versus meanwhile over at the Denver Mint some pennies were being struck like any other day, and some of those Lincoln pennies ended up having a little something special about them. Now don't go grabbing every 1969 D penny just yet. Let me explain. The key here is not just the date and the D mint mark, it's what else might be happening on the coin that makes it insanely valuable. We're talking about doubling, specifically something called a double die, and no, I'm not talking about that time I dropped 2 dice at once during Monopoly and my brother accused me of cheating. I'm still salty about that, by the way. Anyway, a double die happens when the coin's die, the stamp that makes the design, is misaligned during production, so the coin ends up with a noticeable doubling effect, especially on the letters and numbers on the 1969 D penny. If you see strong doubling on the words Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and the date, you could be holding something incredibly rare. Now, here's the plot twist. Most double die pennies in 1969 were from the Philadelphia Mint, not Denver, which makes the 1969 D double die pennies even more special because they're scarcer than a teenager who willingly does chores. Only a handful of verified examples exist, and when they go up for auction, collectors go bananas. I'm talking full-on bidding wars like Black Friday for numismatists. One of these rare beauties sold for over $1.1 million at auction. So last year I was helping my and clean out her garage, and we found this dusty old coffee tin full of pennies, and I was like, jackpot, or at least maybe a pizza. She was gonna take it to the Coinstar machine, but I convinced her to let me sort through them first, because hey, you never know, right? I am going through stacks of brownish coppery coins, and boom, I find a 1969 D penny. Heart starts racing. I grab a magnifier and start looking like Sherlock Holmes checking for doubling. Spoiler alert, it wasn't the rare one, but it was a fun moment, and it got her interested in coin collecting. Now she's out there hunting rolls of coins like a pro, and she brags to her friends that she almost had $1 million penny. And honestly, that's the fun part of this hobby. It's not just about the money, it's the thrill of the hunt. Now, if you're wondering how to check if your 1969 D penny is the jackpot, let me break it down. First, look at the coin under a strong light, and if possible, use a 10x magnifier. Pay close attention to the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters look like they're shadowed or doubled with sharp lines, that's what you're looking for. Also check the data, especially the 9s. They should show clear doubling, not just a blurry smear. And here's a little tip: don't confuse machine doubling, which is way more common and worthless, with true double dies. Machine doubling looks flatter and doesn't have the same bold separation. True doubling has depth and character, kind of like Morgan Freeman's voice. Now, if you think you found something special, don't clean it. I repeat, do not scrub that coin with toothpaste or anything abrasive. That's like washing a Picasso with a dish sponge. Take it to a professional coin dealer, or better yet, submit it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give you the lowdown and maybe confirm that you're holding on to 6 figures in copper. Now, just for fun, let's talk about what you could do with $1.1 million. Buy a house, pay off debt, get a lifetime supply of tacos, or if you're me, buy more coins and annoy your spouse by turning the dining table into a sorting station. Seriously though, the coin market is wild, and there are more treasures out there waiting to be found. Coins like this 1969 D Lincoln penny are proof that even spare change can be life-changing. The humble penny that could make you a millionaire, hiding in plain sight, maybe even in your couch cushions. The 1969 D Lincoln penny is more than just pocket change. It's a little piece of history and possibly a golden ticket if you find the right one. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, do me a favor, smash that like button and hit subscribe, because we've got tons more videos coming your way on valuable coins, coin hunting tips, and stories from collectors just like you. Got a cool coin story or found something weird in your change? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it, and who knows, maybe your story will be featured in a future video. And remember, keep your eyes on your change, because you never know when $1 million penny might be staring back at you. Hey folks, have you ever looked at a penny and thought, meh, just 1 cent, right? Well, hold on to your couch cushions, because that boring looking penny in your junk drawer might just be worth a jaw-dropping $12 million. Yep, that's right, I said $1.2 million for a single 1988 penny with no mint mark. That's not a typo, and no, I didn't hit my head this morning, unless I count running into the kitchen cabinet. Today we're diving into one of the most surprising coin stories out there. How A little copper coin from 1988 turned into a millionaire's dream, so if you've ever tossed pennies into a jar or ignored them on the ground, this video is your wake-up call. We're going full coin detective today, so every penny is supposed to have a little mint mark under the year indicating where it was made. D for Denver, S for San Francisco, P for Philly, but some 1988 pennies rolled off the press completely missing that mint mark, and that right there turned a regular OL coppery coin into a collector's fantasy. The 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny is rare because it was a mistake, a minting error that slipped through quality control like a ninja in the night. We're talking super limited quantities, and those are the magic words in the coin collecting world. Most of these pennies were made at the Philadelphia Mint, which usually leaves off the mint mark on purpose, but in this particular year a few coins were struck using the wrong design, a die intended for the Denver Mint, so it created this weird hybrid coin, a Philadelphia minted coin with a Denver-style design but no mint mark. It's like ordering a cheeseburger and getting a steak sandwich with no explanation. You just roll with it and maybe throw a party. Now you might be wondering what makes this particular coin worth over $1 million. Well, three things: rarity, condition, and collector demand. Fewer than a handful of these 1988 no mint mark transitional error pennies have been verified by top grading companies like PCGS and NGC, that's out of billions of pennies that year. Imagine trying to find one 4-leaf clover in a field of grass the size of Texas. The $1,001,988 penny wasn't just rare, it was pristine, like never been touched by human hands. Pristine, we're talking mint state 67 red. That's the collector's way of saying this penny is basically in coin heaven. Collector demand is the final piece of the puzzle. There are folks out there with big wallets and even bigger passion for coins. When word got out that this particular error coin existed, collectors went bananas. It was like Black Friday for coin nerds. Now, before you toss every coin you own into a Ziploc and head to the pawn shop, let me tell you a story. So I'm chilling at my grandma's place, right, and she has this old jar of coins she's kept since like the 70s. No joke, this jar is older than I am. I'm rummaging through it while she's baking cookies and I find this dirty beat up penny from 1988. I'm like, yo, this could be the one, so I pull out my phone. I'm zooming and squinting, turning it under the light like I'm in a CSI episode. No mint mark, hearts racing. I show it to my grandma, all hyped, and she goes, honey, that's probably just an old dirty penny, but if it's worth $1 million, maybe you can finally move out. Turns out it wasn't the $1 million one, but you better believe I looked through every penny in that jar like I was hunting buried treasure, and the cookies were my reward. So if I can go on a penny hunting adventure, you can too if you think you have a 1988 Lincoln penny. Here's what to look for. Number 1, check the date. Obviously 1988, not 1980, not 1998. We're looking for that magical 88. Number 2, check for the mint mark, or rather the lack of one. It should be missing completely. Number 3, check the FG initials on the reverse just to be sure it's the transitional design from the Denver Mint. Number 4, condition. The better the shape, the bigger the bucks. And number 5, get it graded. Don't try to sell it on your own unless you like lowball offers from dudes named Rick on Facebook Marketplace. Now let's take a quick coin nerd detour. Why are error coins like this so popular? Well, it's kinda like finding a factory sealed copy of an old video game or a misprinted baseball card. It's the weirdness, the flaw that makes it valuable. People want what's rare and what tells a story, and this penny tells one heck of a story. It's the classic underdog story. Small coin makes big waves, a mistake turns into a masterpiece. I mean, come on, that's movie material. 1, this penny weighs just 25 grams. That's less than a paper clip. 2, if you had 1,000,1988 pennies that weren't the rare one, they'd be worth just 10 grand and break your floor. 3, the guy who sold one of these rare pennies reportedly paid less than $1 to get it graded. Talk about ROI, return on insanity. If you're now officially obsessed and ready to start coin hunting, here are a few quick tips. Hit up garage sales, thrift stores, flea markets. People underestimate coins all the time. Always check your change. You'd be shocked how many valuable coins are still floating out there like forgotten treasure. Get a magnifying glass. It's like a coin collector's best friend next to patience. Join a coin club or online forums. You'll learn fast and maybe even make a few coin-loving buddies who won't roll their eyes when you say numismatics at parties. Alright friends, if you've made it this far, you are officially part of the Coin Squad, and remember, the next time someone hands you change, don't just stuff it in your pocket. Take a look, you might be holding a fortune in your hand. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more coin tips, strategies, and stories like this one. Smash the like button if you're gonna go digging through your penny jar after this video, and drop a comment if you've ever found a coin that made you do a double take. Who knows, maybe you'll be the next lucky one to find that 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny and turn it into $1 million payday. Alright, let me ask you a question. What if I told you that one single ordinary looking penny, just a plain old copper coin from 1971 with no fancy mint mark, could be worth over $1.3 million today? Yep, you heard that right, $1.3 million. For a penny now, before you flip your couch cushions looking for coins or start shaking out your piggy bank, let me walk you through exactly what makes this little guy so special. And hey, don't worry, we're not diving into boring coin jargon here. This is the fun side of coin collecting with a little story, a little humor, and a whole lot of money talk. So sit back, grab the change jar, and let's see if you've got the $1,000,000 penny hiding in plain sight. First off, it's part of the good ol' Lincoln Memorial Penny series, you know, the one with Honest Abe chillin' on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Now here's where it gets juicy. Most of these were minted in Philadelphia, and coins from Philly didn't get a mint mark back then, so no mint mark doesn't mean fake or faulty, it just means it was born in the city of brotherly love. But here's the catch. Not every 1971 no mint mark penny is worth a fortune, so don't go listing yours on eBay for $1 million just yet. You see, the ultra valuable one we're talking about is a very specific error coin. This one had a wild ride during production. It was struck on a bronze planchet with an extremely sharp and double die obverse. Basically, Abe's face got a little extra love from the press and ended up looking slightly shadowed or doubled, especially around the date and letters. Now here's where it gets hilarious. Someone found one of these beauties in their junk drawer. True story. A guy named Steve was sorting through his granddad's old coin collection, which was basically a coffee can full of crusty coins, and there it was, a shiny little 1971 penny with a weird looking date. He thought, maybe it's just dirty, but turns out it was the real deal. That coin got sent to a professional grader, came back MS-67 with a double die, and boom, sold at auction for over $1.3 million. And the funniest part, he almost tossed it out because he thought it looked too weird. Now you might be wondering what to look for, so let me break it down for you like your best friend would while digging through a coin jar at 2 in the morning. Check the date on your 1971 penny, look real close at the numbers and the word liberty. If it looks a little doubled like Abe's got a ghost following him, you might be onto something. Also, condition is everything. A beat up penny that's been through the washing machine 5 times won't get you $1 million, but a shiny, well preserved one, that's where the money's at. Now the market value today for this rare variety has hit over $1.3 million at high-grade auctions, and yeah, that number still sounds fake to me too, but it's very real. Collectors are willing to pay big money for rare error coins, especially ones from everyday years like 1971, because no one expects a common year to hold such a hidden gem. A couple years ago, I got into coin collecting because I was broke, bored, and stuck at home. I figured, hey, I like shiny things, why not see if my pennies are secretly treasure? So I grabbed this giant jar of coins I'd been tossing change into for years and spent 2 whole nights sorting through them. I didn't find a $1 million coin that time, but I did find a 1972 double die penny worth about $250, which felt like hitting the jackpot for someone who usually finds lint and Canadian nickels. But the real when I learned how easy it is to miss something valuable hiding in plain sight. Now every time I get change at the grocery store, I do the old man thing. I flip every penny over before putting it in my pocket. My friends laugh until they realize I might be laughing all the way to the bank one day. That 1971 no mint mark Lincoln penny, it might just look like pocket change, but with the right error and the right condition, it could be worth over $1.3 million. That's enough to buy your dream car, a small house, or like 260,000 large pizzas if that's your thing. So the next time you get a handful of change, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment and check those pennies. You never know what treasure you're holding. And hey, if you like this kind of content where we turn everyday coins into potential gold mines, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and drop a comment below with the weirdest coin you've ever found. Hey there, coin collectors and curious minds. Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of valuable coins, coins that can make you a fortune if you find the right one at the right time. Now, today, I've got a story and a coin that'll blow your mind. If you're new here, buckle up because you're in for a wild ride. And if you've been around for a while, well, you know we're all about discovering those hidden treasures, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Alright, let's talk about something that might make you rethink the coins lying around in your change jar. Have you ever thought a coin as recent as 2019 could be worth a staggering $1.4 million? No, I'm not kidding, and I didn't just lose my mind over too many coffee breaks. Yes, you heard it right, a 2019 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Sounds too good to be true, right? But trust me, it's real, and I'm about to tell you why this particular penny is worth more than some of your entire coin collection. So, grab a snack and let's dive into this because, spoiler alert, there's a lot more to this penny than meets the eye. It's that copper-colored little circle of metal that most people toss around like it's worthless. I mean, we've all done it, right? Dropped it in the parking lot or let it get lost in the couch cushions, hoping it'll just disappear. But then, bam, there's this 2019 no mint mark penny that could be worth a cool $1.4 million. And let's be real, when was the last time you thought that about a penny? Now, the first thing you're probably asking is, why is this penny so valuable? Well, here's where it gets interesting. You see, most pennies are minted in a few different places. In fact, we've got the Philly Mint, the Denver Mint, and a couple of others, but the key thing here is that this particular 2019 penny has no mint mark. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, no mint mark? That's it, you need to understand why that's a big deal. You see, in most years, pennies have a mint mark to tell you where they came from. But in 2019, some pennies were struck without a mint mark by mistake. And let me tell you, coin collectors went absolutely nuts when they realized that this wasn't just an accident, it was a rare occurrence. And guess what? When things are rare, the price skyrockets. Suddenly, this little penny became like a golden ticket, but instead of chocolate, it was made of copper. And now, let's talk about the rarity. Imagine you're at a yard sale, just casually browsing through boxes of dusty old books and random knickknacks, and then you spot a box full of pennies from all kinds of years. Most of them are the usual ones, nothing special, but then, just buried under a pile of 1997s and 2005s, you find that 2019 no mint mark beauty. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, and I'm sure you can guess what happens next. You scoop it up, and now you've got yourself a $1.4 million coin. Let me tell you a little story to put things in perspective. A couple of years ago, I was at a coin show, just like I do every year, trying to find that one hidden gem. The place was packed, coin dealers, collectors, people flipping through old coin books, and I was just going through boxes of pennies when I heard a commotion. People were freaking out over some penny. Turns out, it was a 2019 no mint mark. One guy had a handful of them, and before I knew it, he was practically mobbed by collectors. It's the stuff of legends, people. And that's when it really hit me. People are willing to pay big money for something that was just a regular penny not too long ago. What makes this particular penny even more intriguing is that there were only a limited number of them produced, and they were mostly found in certain batches of the 2019 penny collection. Because the mint typically tries to correct errors, finding one of these pennies means you've got yourself a piece of history. It's kind of like finding out that one of your old toy cars is a rare model, and now it's worth more than your entire toy collection. You're sitting on a goldmine without even realizing it. Most of these pennies are still out there, floating around in circulation, hiding in plain sight. And that, my friends, is what makes this coin hunt so thrilling. You could have one of these $1 million pennies lying in your pocket right now, and you wouldn't even know it unless you've been paying attention to the right details. All it takes is a little knowledge and a little luck, and suddenly, you're in the driver's seat of a coin fortune. Alright, folks, you might still be processing all that information, and I know it's a lot to take in. But here's the deal, when it comes to valuable coins, you just never know what you've got until you start looking. A coin as small as a penny, something we often overlook, could be worth millions. So, the next time you reach for your change, remember that there could be a rare treasure just waiting for you to find it. And hey, if you found a 2019 no mint mark penny, or even a coin that's a bit out of the ordinary, don't just toss it aside, take a moment to check it out. It could be worth more than your favorite pair of sneakers. And who knows? You might be the one sitting on a small fortune. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money. And don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss out on our next coin hunt. Trust me, you'll want to stay tuned, because you might just find yourself with a shiny new fortune in your hands. Hey, coin enthusiasts, I hope you're ready to dive into some serious coin talk, because today we're going to talk about a little penny that has a huge value, the 1979 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. No, this isn't a penny you'd normally find in your pocket change, and trust me, it's not just any old copper disc. We're talking about a coin worth $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. So, sit back, grab your magnifying glass, and let's take a journey to discover why this penny could be your ticket to a small fortune. Alright, let's set the scene. You're scrolling through your spare change one day, maybe about to grab a soda from a vending machine. You reach into your pocket, and bam, you pull out a 1979 penny. It looks pretty normal. Maybe a little worn down, but you think, hey, that's cool, it's an old penny. But what if, and stay with me here, what if this little copper coin is actually a hidden treasure? That's exactly what some lucky collectors found when they stumbled upon a 1979 no mint mark penny. And no, it's not like the pennies you find every day that are worth just a few cents. We're talking $1.50 million. Now, before you go raiding your couch cushions, let me break down the reason behind this big value. The 1979 penny is one of those coins where a small mistake, or in this case, a minting error, turned out to be a big deal. Here's what happened. The US Mint accidentally left out the mint mark on some of the 1979 pennies. Now, normally, each penny minted in the US has a little D for Denver or S for San Francisco to show where it was made. But a small batch from 1979 didn't get that mint mark, and that's what makes them so rare. Imagine you're at a garage sale. You see a stack of comic books from the 80s. They all look the same, but one comic book has a misprint, maybe the cover's a little off-center or the colors are wrong. The comic book collectors go nuts over that one, even though it looks like the rest. And guess what? That's exactly what happened with this penny. It was an accident, but an accidental goldmine one. Fortunately, no. These rare 1979 no mint mark pennies are extremely hard to find, and even harder to authenticate. If you find one, don't go taking it to the nearest coin dealer without getting it checked out. You'll want to have an expert confirm it's the real deal. Why? Because there are a lot of counterfeits out there, trying to cash in on the craze. So, if you find one, don't just sell it to the first person who offers you a couple $100. You could be sitting on a fortune. Last year, I was digging through my old coin jar, the one full of random pennies, nickels, and maybe a few old bills, and I found a penny from 1980. It wasn't exactly rare, but I thought, hey, it's worth a few cents more than face value, right? So, I showed it to my buddy, who's a coin collector. He looked at it and said, well, it's got a little wear on it. It's a decent coin, but you're not getting rich off it. That was a big moment for me because it taught me the value of checking your change. And not just looking for rare coins, but learning what makes a coin valuable. That penny from 1980 was nice, but it wasn't a game changer. But, with the 1979 no mint mark penny? That could be the one that changes your life. If you happen to find one of those rare pennies, well, you might just be holding on to your very own golden ticket. Here's the thing, there's no magical technique to instantly spot one. You need to pay attention. These rare coins typically don't stand out immediately. You've got to inspect them closely. One key factor to look for is, of course, the absence of a mint mark. If you've got a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe, give it a careful look and see if there's any sign of a mint mark. If it's missing, you've got a treasure on your hands. And as always, get it authenticated by an expert. So, to wrap it all up, if you ever find a 1979 no mint mark penny, do a little happy dance because you could be looking at a $1.5 million coin. The value of these pennies comes from that tiny mistake at the US Mint, which makes them super rare and highly desirable to collectors. And remember, if you find one, don't sell it to the first person who comes along. Get it checked out and authenticated. It's like finding a hidden gem in your pocket change. Before I sign off, I just want to say a huge thank you for watching. If you're into finding rare coins and learning about their value, then hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more tips, tricks, and strategies on how to spot coins that could make you rich, from pennies to nickels and everything in between. You don't want to miss out on future content. And hey, maybe next time you dig through your change, you'll find a little treasure of your own. Hey there, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and I just found a penny under the couch people. Have you ever stared at a penny and thought, could this little thing actually be worth a fortune? Well, today I've got one for you that's going to blow your mind, the 2016 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Sounds like just another penny, right? But wait. This little copper nugget could be worth $1.6 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny. A freaking penny. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just find yourself looking at your spare change a whole lot differently. Let's dive in. Alright, so before we go all $1.6 million on this penny, let's take a step back. A penny is a penny, right? It's something you toss in your change jar and forget about. But what if I told you that some pennies, and this is the kicker, aren't just pennies? They're like the undercover agents of the coin world, hiding in plain sight, waiting to turn into gold, or at least, a lot of cash. Now, let's get to the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny, which, by the way, is one of the most surprisingly valuable pennies to hit the market in recent years. You probably know that every US coin has a mint mark on it. The mint mark tells us where the coin was made. But with the 2016 penny? It was supposed to have a mint mark, but it didn't, and that tiny little missing detail? That's what makes this penny insanely rare and worth around $1.60 million. Look, you might be thinking, but it's just a small spot. What's the big deal? Well, let me tell you, in the world of numismatics, yeah, that's the fancy word for coin collecting, don't be impressed, I had to Google it too. A missing mint mark makes a coin highly desirable. It's like finding an Easter egg in a video game, or like that time I found an extra chicken nugget in my fast food order. That kind of find changes everything. Now, the US Mint didn't officially recognize that a missing mint mark was an error. So, this penny has become a collector's dream. People search high and low to get their hands on one, and those that do are often rewarded with big bucks. And when I say big bucks, I mean millions. So how can you tell if your 2016 penny is the one worth the big money? Well, it's pretty simple. You'll want to check for two things. First, make sure the penny is from 2016, yeah, no cheating with a 2017 penny or something. Look closely. Second, no mint mark. If there's no D for Denver or P for Philadelphia on the front near the year, then congratulations. You might have a gold mine sitting in your coin jar. Or maybe not. Don't get too excited yet, let's talk about condition. The condition of your penny matters too. If it's been through the wash, had a few run-ins with your kitchen sink, or looks like it was used to play basketball, it's probably not worth the big bucks. The more pristine it is, the higher its value. Ideally, you want it to look close to mint condition, and that's going to take it into that $1.6 million range. If it's a little worn, the value could still be decent, but you might not be calling up your private jet service just yet. And hey, don't just go throwing all your pennies in the trash just because they're scratched. You could be sitting on a gold mine, but don't get carried away. The coin world is full of myths and rumors, so always double check your facts before you go around calling your pennies rich. So, funny story, I remember when I first got into coin collecting. It all started with this one random penny I found in the parking lot of my local grocery store. I thought, hey, it's a 1944 penny. That's gotta be worth something, right? I took it to a dealer, and guess what? It wasn't. But the lesson I learned? Every penny counts. Literally. Some of those coins that you think are worth nothing could be the next big find, kind of like how this 2016 no mint mark penny surprised everyone. You just never know, right? So, there you have it. The 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a small coin that's packing a huge punch. It may look like just another penny, but with the missing mint mark and a bit of good luck, it could be worth $1.6 million. And who knows? That change in your pocket right now might be your ticket to your own personal treasure hunt. If you're into finding rare coins, flipping them for cash, or just love learning about all the weird and wonderful ways to get rich off coins, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because there's always more coming your way. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. Who knows? The next $1 million coin I talk about might be hiding in your couch cushions. Hey, what's up everyone? If you've ever dug through a jar of pennies, hoping to find a hidden gem worth millions, then trust me, you're not alone. But what if I told you that one specific penny from 2008 is out there, quietly sitting in your pocket, potentially worth a mind-blowing $1.70 million? Yeah, you heard me right. This isn't some fairy tale or a coin collector's dream, it's the real deal. And today, I'm about to tell you everything you need to know about the 2008 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin so valuable it could buy you a house, or, a really nice vacation. So grab a snack, settle in, and let's get into it. Well, before we get into its insane value, let me break it down for you, because, like me, you might be wondering, how in the world could a penny be worth that much money? Let's start with the basics. Pennies are supposed to be, well, pennies, cheap, tiny, almost worthless. They're the coins we toss into jars at the back of the drawer or use to prop open a door. You know, the ones you forget about. But every once in a while, there's that one coin that makes you rethink the entire idea of small change. And now, the 2008 no mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those whoa, hold up moments. You see, normally, coins have a mint mark. If it's a D, you know it was minted in Denver. If it's an S, that penny came from San Francisco. But the 2008 no mint mark penny? It's like the rock star of coins, showing up without a label and leaving us all wondering what happened. Here's the twist. this penny was produced in Philadelphia, but for some weird reason, they decided to leave the mint mark off. And that tiny detail, the lack of a mint mark, has turned this penny into something highly collectible and incredibly rare. Well, let me tell you, it is a big deal. There's something about scarcity and rarity that makes collectors go absolutely wild, like when you find that last slice of pizza in the fridge and fight your family for it. That's exactly what's happening with this penny right now. It's the pizza everyone wants, but there's only a small slice left, and trust me, I know a thing or two about fighting over food. I once tried to save a piece of cake for myself, only for my cat to eat it. I mean, who does that, right? But just like my cat's food thievery, these pennies are in high demand. And just like that cake I'll never get back, the value of the 2008 no mint mark penny has only gone up. The market value of these pennies has been steadily increasing, with the highest recorded sale reaching an astonishing $1.7 million. That's right, one penny for $1.7 million. You could probably retire after selling that penny, but of course, if you've got it, you're going to want to hold on to it because its value could continue to grow. Not every 2008 penny without a mint mark is worth a fortune. For it to be valuable, it has to meet certain conditions. It needs to be in perfect condition, with no major wear or damage. You're looking for a coin that's practically as pristine as the day it was minted. That's why people are shelling out big bucks for these little guys. It's not just about the missing mint mark, it's about the rarity and quality of the coin. Well, good news. They're out there. If you've got a 2008 penny in your collection, it's definitely worth checking for that mint mark or lack of it. But keep in mind, the ones that are in mint condition, those are the ones fetching the big bucks, and honestly, if you're lucky enough to find one, you might want to get it checked by a professional. Coin grading is a whole world of its own, and trust me, you want to make sure you're not sitting on $1 million coin and not even know it. Speaking of finding treasure, I actually had a similar experience a few years ago. I was at a flea market, just casually browsing through some old coins. I wasn't expecting much, just looking for something cool to add to my collection. But then, I found this 1955 double-die Lincoln penny. It was tucked away in a bargain bin, probably because no one knew what it was worth. I got it for just a few bucks, and when I later had it appraised, turns out it was worth thousands. Needless to say, I felt like I had just discovered buried treasure, and I couldn't believe my luck. So, trust me, sometimes those pennies you think are nothing might be worth more than you ever imagined. So, there you have it. The 2008 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a true gem in the world of coin collecting. It's got rarity, it's got value, and it's definitely got the potential to make you some serious cash if you find one in mint condition. Coin collecting is all about paying attention to the details. It's about knowing what to look for, and more importantly, it's about the thrill of the hunt. If you're not already checking your spare change or digging through those old coin jars, now's the time to start. Who knows? You could be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Before I let you go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more tips and tricks about coins worth money. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next hidden treasure we uncover. And if you've got any crazy coin finds or funny stories about your own search for valuable coins, drop them in the comments below. I love hearing from you. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Alright, let's kick things off with a quick question. Have you ever picked up a penny from the ground and thought, what if this little guy is worth a fortune? Well, I'm here to tell you, sometimes it's not just a penny, it could be worth more than your old car. Okay, maybe not quite that much, but stick with me here. Today, we're talking about a very special penny, the 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Hold on to your seats, because this little coin could be worth $1.8 million. Yes, you heard me right. A penny. $1.8 million. Now, that's a lot of change, isn't it? Let's dive into why this penny is so valuable, what makes it stand out, and how you can potentially cash in on your own hidden treasure. I mean, we're talking about a coin that most people would look at, shrug, and toss into the nearest jar of spare change. Definitely not something you take to the bank with dreams of a fortune, right? Well, in this case, it's all about the mint mark, or rather, the lack of it. Normally, coins are stamped with a mint mark that tells you where they were produced. The mint marks for pennies in the US are usually either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But the 2000 no mint mark penny? Nothing. Zilch. Nada. It's like the coin is trying to tell you, I don't need no stinkin' mint mark, I'm already a legend. Well, that's because it's considered a mintage error. See, in 2000, some pennies were accidentally struck without the mint mark, which is super rare. It's like finding a unicorn, but instead of hooves and a magical horn, you've got a penny that could make you rich. Imagine this: you're walking down the street, and you spot a penny. You bend down to grab it, but you almost miss it because, well, it's just a penny. But what if, just what if, this was one of those rare, no mint mark beauties? Now, I know, not every penny you find is going to be worth $1 million, but it's a fun thought, right? And honestly, it's moments like this that make collecting coins so exciting. It's like a treasure hunt every time you open your wallet or sift through your change jar. Okay, back to business. So, why does this penny specifically hold such value? Well, the key here is scarcity. There were only a small number of these 2000 no mint mark pennies produced, and over the years, they've become an elusive find. The rarity of these coins has driven their value up, and as more people realize just how much these little guys are worth, they start paying more attention to their change. Imagine all the pennies you've tossed aside over the years without a second thought. Some of those could have been gold mines, or should I say, pennies worth millions. Speaking of missed opportunities, let me share a funny story with you. A few years ago, I was going through a box of old coins my grandma gave me. She had this huge collection of change, from foreign coins to American pennies. Some of them, honestly, looked like they had been through a war. But there I was, sifting through this dusty pile of forgotten pennies when, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed one coin that looked a little too shiny for its age. I picked it up, examined it carefully, and realized it was a 1955 double die error penny. I mean, in that moment, my heart raced. I thought, this is it. I've hit the jackpot. Well, long story short, I took it to a professional, and it wasn't quite the gold mine I had imagined. But that's what coin collecting is all about, finding that rare gem among the sea of everyday change. So now, every time I find a penny, I don't just toss it in my pocket. I stop, look it over, and really inspect it. You never know when you might strike it rich. Alright, let's wrap this up. The 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those coins that shows you just how valuable even the smallest things can be. It's a rare find, and if you happen to come across one in your spare change, you could be looking at a piece of history and potentially a fortune. If you want to start hunting for rare coins or learn more about how to spot a valuable penny, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on more tips and tricks about coins worth money. Who knows, the next penny you find could be the one that changes your life. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting, and remember, check your change, because sometimes, the real treasure is closer than you think. Hey there, coin collectors, treasure hunters, or just folks who love a good couch cushion mystery. 1 penny 1 cent. A tiny copper coin that most people toss in a jar and forget about is now worth more than a Ferrari and a 5-bedroom house combined. I am talking about the 2009 D. Lincoln Memorial Penny Formative Years Edition. Yep, the one where Abe Lincoln is chillin' on a log with a book in his hand looking like he's about to invent the internet, and no mint mark, no fancy design or rare gem stuck in. It's just a normal penny with a wild value of $1.8 million. That's right folks, $1.8 million for a coin you might have in your junk drawer or under the seat of your car right now. So grab your coffee or your energy drink or whatever fuels your coin collecting curiosity and stick around, because we're about to dive deep into the story behind this little copper legend, the reasons it's so valuable, how you can spot one, and, of course, my own hilarious and slightly embarrassing story of how I almost gave mine away at a gas station for a pack of gum. Now, if you remember, 2009 was a strange time. The world was still reeling from the financial crisis. Everyone was suddenly obsessed with vampires, and the iPhone was just starting to take over our lives. Meanwhile, the US Mint decided it was time to spice things up a bit and honor Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday, so they released 4 special pennies that year, all showing different stages of Abe's life. There was the birth and early childhood design, the formative years design, the professional life design, and the presidency design. Today we're zooming in on the formative years one because that's where the magic happens. That's the one with Lincoln sitting on a log in Indiana reading a book while holding a tool. He's got a little smirk on his face like he just read a really funny joke about Congress. This design was meant to show Lincoln's youth, how he taught himself while working hard and growing up in Indiana. It's a feel-good Slice of American history with a side of good ol' bootstrapping spirit. Now the 2009 D version, the one minted in Denver, is usually not worth more than face value unless something went very interestingly wrong during the minting process. Some of these 2009 D formative years pennies were struck with strange doubling on Lincoln's fingers or hand or even his book. Others had off-center strikes or weird die breaks. That made them totally unique, and you know how the collector world goes. Anything that's rare, unusual, or even a little off tends to skyrocket in value, especially if it's tied to something as iconic as Abraham Lincoln. One particular 2009 D formative years penny was found with such a bizarre and perfect combination of minting errors it was labeled as one of a kind, literally no other coin like it, and that baby sold in a private auction for $1.8 million. Imagine that, a coin worth less than a gumball that turns out to be worth more than most folks make in their lifetime. Okay, cool, but how do I know if I've got the $1 million penny? First, make sure it's the 2009 formative years design. Lincoln on a log holding a book. That's your starting point. Now for the fun part, grab a magnifying glass or use the zoom on your phone camera and check Lincoln's fingers, his book, and any part of the coin that looks a little wonky. If there's doubling or an obvious mistake, it might be an error coin. Also look at the overall color and condition. If it's still shiny and has barely been touched, that increases the value too. But remember, the one that hit 1.8 million was an extremely rare combination of multiple errors in pristine condition, plus it had solid authentication and grading, which is a whole process we'll touch on in a minute. So back in 2012 I was broke, like scraping the change from the car floor. Broke. I stopped by a gas station to grab a bag of chips and I was short by like 5 cents, so I grabbed a few pennies from my cup holder and handed them to the cashier. Fast forward 3 years, I'm scrolling through a coin collecting forum for no reason other than boredom, and I see a picture of a 2009 D Lincoln formative years penny that looks oddly familiar. Same weird strike, same scratch under the log, same everything. Why, all I swear on my snack stash I had that coin. I gave it away for a pack of off-brand barbecue chips that weren't even that good. Do I live in fear and regret daily? Also no, but let's just say I check every single penny now with the intensity of a detective on a crime show. Now back to grading and authentication. If you think you've got a valuable coin, your first step is to avoid cleaning it. Seriously, don't even wipe it off on your shirt. Let it be dusty, crusty, and original. Next, take it to a professional coin dealer or grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll inspect it, authenticate it, and give it a grade from 1 to 70. A high grade on a rare error coin, that's when you start seeing the big money offers. And even if yours isn't the $1.8 million coin, some of these 2009 D pennies still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the condition and the era. That Abraham Lincoln was not only one of our greatest presidents but also a quiet badass on a log, and that every time you hand over a penny without checking it first you might be giving away a piece of treasure. But hey, now you're armed with knowledge and a funny story to tell. At parties you've got the tools to dig into your spare change and maybe, just maybe, find the next $1 million penny. And who knows, the next time you stop for gas and dig into your cup holder you might just strike copper gold. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that subscribe button like it owes you money. Hit the bell so you don't miss future videos where we uncover more coins that could change your life. And drop a comment if you've got a rare penny story of your own, because here we're not just collecting coins, we're collecting legends. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential treasure. Now tell me this, have you ever had one of those days where you're just cleaning out your car and you find an old penny wedged between the seats? Yeah, you look at it and think, huh, just a penny, right? Nothing special. Well, guess what? That dusty little coin could actually be worth a fortune. I'm talking about the 1976 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, and hold on to your coffee mugs because this bad boy has sold for as much as $1.1 million. That's right, $1 million from a penny that you might just hand over for a pack of gum. So before you toss the change into a jar or worse into one of those coin machines at the grocery store, stick around, because today we're diving deep into why this specific penny is so valuable, what makes it special, and how you might have one sitting in your pocket right now. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1976 Lincoln penny has the familiar face of Honest Abe on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. It's made mostly of copper, as pennies were back in the day before things got all zinc. Why now? The D Mint mark means this coin was minted in Denver, not Detroit, not Denny's, Denver. And the D is important, very important, because that's where the $1 million version of this coin came from. So you're probably thinking, okay, what the heck makes this penny worth 7 figures? Well, here's where things get juicy. There are a few factors that can launch a penny's value into the stratosphere. Let's break him down. First is condition. If your 1976 D penny looks like it just came out of a time machine from the mint factory with zero scratches, perfect luster, and edges so crisp they could cut paper, then you've got a shot at big money. We're talking about coins in what's called MS67 or higher. That's mint state 67 out of a scale of 70. Basically the Beyonce of pennies. Flawless. Second is errors and misstrikes. Now here's where things get fun. Some 1976 D pennies have been found with double dies or off-center strikes, and if you've never heard of that before, imagine Lincoln's face doing the cha-cha slide across the coin. Those kinds of errors are like catnip to collectors. And then there's rarity. While the Denver Mint produced millions of these pennies, only a microscopic number have survived in perfect condition or with those juicy errors. That's what makes the valuable ones so rare, and you know how it goes when something's rare, the price goes through the roof. A couple years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. He had this old cigar box filled with random change just sitting under a pile of dusty fishing gear. I almost didn't even look through it because it smelled like bait and regret, but hey, I'm a coin nerd, so I gave it a peek, and wouldn't you know it, bam, there it was, a shiny 1976 penny, almost perfect, not mint state perfect, but good enough to make me yell like I'd just seen a ghost. My uncle thought I was losing my mind. I took it to a local coin shop, and while it wasn't the $1 million one, it still fetched a sweet little chunk of change, enough for a nice dinner and a great story. And yes, my uncle now checks every single penny before spending it. Let me tell you, coin collecting turns you into a detective. You start looking at change like it's evidence from a mystery movie. You're like, this nickel looks suspicious. Let me get my magnifying glass and gloves. And don't even get me started on the coin forums and Facebook groups. Once you start down this path, you're knee-deep in acronyms like RPM, DDR, MSR, DBU. You start dreaming in mint marks. Now, if you're wondering how to find out if your 1976 penny is worth anything, here's what you do. Step 1, grab a magnifying glass or one of those jeweler's loupes you can get online for $5. Step 2, look at the details. Is the strike clean? Are there any funky doubling on the letters or Lincoln's eye? Anything off-center, a missing mint mark? All of these are good signs. Step 3, compare your coin with online grading guides, or better yet, take it to a coin dealer and get a professional opinion. Just make sure it's a trusted dealer, not some guy named Louis working out of a trunk in a Walmart parking lot. Step 4, if it looks promising, get it graded officially through services like PCGS or NGC. Yes, you have to pay a fee, but if your penny is the real deal, it's totally worth it. And just think about it, the next time someone tries to pay you back with pennies, smile and say, sure, no problem, I'll take all the pennies you've got. You never know what goldmine you're holding in that copper. So to wrap things up, the 1976 mint mark Lincoln penny might just be the luckiest coin you'll ever come across. Keep your eyes peeled, check your change, and don't sleep on those pennies you think are worthless. Coins like these prove that value can be hiding in plain sight, and all it takes is a little knowledge and a little luck to turn a simple coin into a $1 million payday. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want more tips on how to find rare coins, coin collecting hacks, and stories about everyday people cashing in on forgotten change, then hit that subscribe button like you're smashing a piggy bank. Don't forget to like this video, drop a comment if you've ever found a weird or valuable coin, and share this with your friends, especially the ones who say coins are boring. Show them what a $1 million penny looks like. Hey, what's up, coin hunters? Welcome back to the channel where pocket change meets life-changing treasure. Now listen up, because what if I told you that a simple 2005 Lincoln penny without a mint mark could be worth a mind-blowing $1.2 million? Yeah, that's right, $1.2 million for a coin most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up off the sidewalk. I know, sounds like something out of a late-night infomercial, but trust me, this one is real, and we're diving into all the juicy details today. Now, before we go full Indiana Jones on this little copper beauty, let me tell you a quick story. So last summer I was at my aunt's house, you know, the kind of aunt who keeps everything, and I'm helping her clean out this old cookie tin full of random stuff. I'm talking buttons, paper clips, expired coupons, and bam, there it was, a 2005 penny, no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. I mean, it looked just like any other penny, but I remembered reading something about this exact coin being super rare. Long story short, I had it checked. It wasn't the $1 million one, but it got me obsessed, and that's how I ended up deep in the coin collecting rabbit hole with all of you beautiful weirdos. So if you've got some change lying around, maybe even a 2005 penny in your pocket, stay tuned. This video might just change the way you look at your spare change forever. So in 2005, the United States Mint produced Lincoln pennies at multiple locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Now, pennies made in Philly typically don't carry a mint mark. That's totally normal, so just because your penny doesn't have a mint mark doesn't automatically mean it's rare or worth quitting your job for. But here's where it gets spicy. There were a few 2005 pennies made with super rare errors and unique characteristics that collectors go bananas for. I'm talking about double dies, misaligned strikes, off-center prints, and even transitional errors. And yes, some of these little accidents from the mints machines can make a penny worth more than your car. Now, the specific 2005 penny we're talking about today is not just rare, it's practically a unicorn. It's believed to have been a test strike using experimental materials, and somehow it slipped past quality control and ended up in circulation. That's right, somebody probably bought a soda with this thing, and now it's worth more than most people's college tuition. Second, it's got an incredibly rare die error on Lincoln's jacket. The folds appear unusually thick and raised, creating what's called a double die obverse. This is when the coin was struck more than once but not quite aligned right. Think of it like a ghost image but on a coin. Spooky but profitable. Third, the coin is in mint state condition. We're talking MS68 or higher. This thing looks like it just time traveled from 2005 without a scratch. And here's the kicker, only a tiny number of these coins are known to exist, so naturally collectors are throwing money at it like it's a Taylor Swift concert ticket. Now back to the current market value. You ready? Drumroll please. This little copper-colored miracle has been auctioned off for $1.2 million. Yeah, you heard me, a single penny that could buy you a Lamborghini, a condo, or like 1,000 Costco memberships. And don't worry if yours doesn't look exactly like that $1 million baby, because even other error coins from 2005 can sell for anywhere from $50 to a few thousand depending on the condition and rarity. Not too shabby for something most people leave in the bottom of their junk drawer. Right, number 1, check for doubling on Lincoln's I jacket and the words "I in God we trust in liberty." If it looks funky, take a closer look. Number 2, condition is everything. If your penny looks like it got run over by a lawnmower, it's probably not worth much, but if it's clean, crisp and shiny, it might be worth getting graded. Number 3, use a good magnifying glass, not the one from your kid's spy kit, a real one. Go full Sherlock Holmes on this penny. Number 4, if you think you have a rare one, don't just take it to your local pawn shop, get it professionally graded by companies like PCGS or NGC. That's how you know what it's truly worth. And hey, remember that story I told you at the beginning about my aunt's penny tin? Well, ever since then I've been checking every single coin I come across. I've annoyed every cashier from here to Albuquerque, flipping my change and squinting at it like I'm decoding ancient runes. One time a barista thought I was trying to cast a spell on the tip jar. No lie, but seriously, this stuff is fun. It's like modern day treasure hunting, and who doesn't want to be a treasure hunter? Alright, my fellow penny detectives, that wraps up our deep dive into the legendary 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny, worth a whopping $1.2 million. If you've got one of these babies sitting in your couch cushions, you might just be richer than you think, and if you don't, well, now you know what to look for. So the next time someone tries to tell you pennies are worthless, you just hit them with that "actually this one's worth more than your car, Steve," and walk away in slow motion. Now, if you enjoyed this video, learned something new, or just like hanging out with someone who gets overly excited about coins, do me a solid, hit that subscribe button, smash that like, drop a comment below telling me the coolest coin you've ever found or the weirdest place you found one. We've got more videos coming on coins that could make you rich, maybe even stupid rich, and I don't want you to miss a single one, so stick around because this is the place where pocket change dreams come true. Hey there, coin lovers, treasure hunters, and people who just found a weird penny in their couch cushions and are hoping it'll pay off their mortgage. You are absolutely in the right place today. We're diving into a seemingly ordinary piece of copper that might just be your golden ticket. Yep, we're talking about the 1988 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's been making serious waves in the collector world with a jaw-dropping current market value of $13 million. I'm not kidding. 1.3 million. Now, if you're sitting there staring at your spare change like it just told you it won the lottery, same, don't worry, we're gonna break it all down in this video. What makes this penny so dang special, why collectors are throwing money at it like it's front row at a rock concert, and how to tell if you've got the magic coin hiding in your piggy bank. Stick around because I'll even share a story of how I almost threw away a coin that turned out to be worth hundreds. Yeah, I cried a little, but I learned a lot. Now, first things first, this penny looks super normal, right? I mean, if you tossed it on the table next to your lunch money, you wouldn't bat an eye, but hidden beneath its plain exterior is the kind of detail that collectors drool over. Here's the deal: most pennies made in Philadelphia in 1988 don't have a mint mark, which isn't that unusual. The Philly Mint often skips it, so a no mint mark penny isn't rare by itself. There's a very specific variety of the 1988 no mint mark penny that has a little mistake in the design, a tiny difference that most people wouldn't even notice unless they were zooming in like a CSI tech. This penny has something called a reverse design from a different year. Specifically, it accidentally used the 1989 reverse on a 1988 penny. How wild is that? It's like wearing mismatched socks, but somehow it makes you a millionaire. The detail to look for is in the FG initials on the back of the penny right under the Lincoln Memorial. Those initials stand for Frank Gasparo, the designer of the reverse. If the initials are super sharp and close to the building like they were in 1989, ding ding ding, you might just have the rare variety. Now, only a tiny number of these transitional error pennies made it into circulation, which is why collectors go nuts for them. Imagine it like a limited edition sneaker drop, but for coin nerds. One of these bad boys in top condition was sold for an eye-watering $1.3 million. I mean, can you imagine turning a penny into a literal mansion? Or like 130,000 McChickens. The math works out. You don't need to be a coin expert to check your change, you just need good lighting, a magnifying glass, or even your phone camera, and a little patience. So a few years back I was doing a spring cleaning deep dive, you know, the kind where you find stuff you forgot existed, like expired coupons, broken headphones, and that one sock that disappeared in 2015. Anyway, I found an old jar of coins from my grandpa, and being the curious guy I am, I Started looking through them, no lie, I almost just dumped them into a Coinstar machine, but something told me to slow down. Long story short, I found a 1972 double die penny and they're worth a few $100. I nearly choked on my cereal, so ever since then I've been checking my change like it's a treasure map, and you should too. You never know when a penny is secretly a superstar just waiting for you to notice it. The 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny might look boring, but if it has that special reverse design, boom, it could be worth up to $1.3 million. All you need to do is check the FG initials on the reverse side and compare them to the 1989 design. If they match, you could be sitting on a tiny copper jackpot. So next time you're about to throw your spare change into a vending machine, stop, take a second look, because you might just be giving away $1 million coin for a bag of chips, and nobody wants that. And hey, if you love tips like this, discovering hidden treasures in plain sight and turning pocket change into life-changing money, hit that subscribe button, tap that like, throw a comment down below if you've ever found something valuable in your spare change, or if you're about to go dig through your couch cushions right now. I've got more stories, more coin finds, and more strategies coming your way, so don't miss out. Alright folks, grab your coin jars, coffee cans, and that random drawer full of junk, because today we're talking about a penny, a humble little coppery coin that might just make you a millionaire. Now imagine this: you're digging through your change looking for quarters for the laundry machine, and boom, you see a 2013 penny, no mint mark. You're about to toss it aside, but hold up, that little coin could be worth $1.4 million. Yes, you heard me right, a 2013 Lincoln penny with no mint mark might be the key to paying off your mortgage, buying a Tesla, or finally upgrading from ramen noodles to steak dinners on a Tuesday. Sounds crazy, I know, but stick around because I'm about to break down exactly why this coin is so rare, what makes it valuable, and how you might already have one without even knowing it. So what's the deal with the 2013 no mint mark Lincoln penny? Is it magic? Is it made of gold? Did Lincoln himself bless it with a kiss? Not quite, but it's still pretty special. In 2013, most Lincoln pennies were minted at either the Denver Mint or the Philadelphia Mint. The Philly ones usually don't have a mint mark, and that's normal, but here's the twist: most 2013 no mint mark pennies are common and worth exactly 1 cent, but a very small number were made with a striking error or other rare feature that makes them super valuable. We're talking pennies struck on the wrong planchet, double dies, misaligned dies, or other minting mistakes. These rare variations are what collectors drool over like they just spotted a pizza delivery guy on their porch. Now I know what you're thinking, come on, how can a penny be worth over $1 million? Well, let me tell you about the coin that started this frenzy. 2013 Lincoln penny with no mint mark was found to have a unique double die error on Lincoln's face and lettering. The detail was sharp, clean, and distinct, the kind of error that only shows up once in a blue moon, and collectors go absolutely bananas over it. It was graded at an ultra-high MS condition, meaning mint state, basically untouched and looking like it just rolled out of the machine in a tuxedo. And get this, it sold at auction for $1.4 million. That's enough to buy a house, a boat, and still have enough left over to fill a kiddie pool with pennies just for fun. Now let me tell you a little story. This happened to me a couple of years ago. I was cleaning out my car, you know, under the seats where things go to die. I found a bunch of change and decided to actually look through it. For once I sat there on the curb like a budget treasure hunter, squinting at every coin, and guess what? I did not find $1 million penny, but I did find a 1972 penny with some funky doubling, and ended up selling it for like $150. Not bad for a coin that was chilling with French fry crumbs for a decade. Moral of the story: look at your dang change, people. You never know what might be lurking in that dusty corner of your couch or that old change jar in the kitchen. First, grab a magnifying glass or one of those little jeweler's loupes. Makes you feel professional even if you're wearing sweatpants. Next, look closely at Lincoln's face, the date, and the lettering, especially the word liberty, and in God we trust. Look for doubling or anything that looks off, weird, or misaligned. Also check the edge and overall shape of the coin. If something feels wrong, it might just be right, if you know what I mean. And most importantly, don't clean the coin. Seriously, don't dip it in vinegar, don't scrub it with a toothbrush, don't try to give it a spot. Collectors want coins in their natural wild condition, like a lion on the savannah, not like a poodle after a salon visit. So there you have it, a little copper coin that most people would ignore. Could be your ticket to millionaire status. The 2013 no mint mark Lincoln penny might look plain, but under the right conditions and with the right error, it's anything but. And now you know exactly what to look for, so the next time someone says pennies are worthless, just smile, dig into your change jar, and whisper not if you know what you're doing. If you found this video helpful, funny, or even just mildly interesting, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. We've got tons more videos coming your way with tips on spotting valuable coins, coin collecting strategies, and stories that'll make you want to flip every penny you see. Smash that like button, tap the bell so you don't miss any treasure hunting tips, and drop a comment if you've ever found a weird coin. You never know, maybe your story's the next viral video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where pocket change turns into paycheck change. I'm your host and your fellow coin nerd who's always got a penny in his shoe and dreams of $1 million in his couch cushions. Now before you roll your eyes and say come on it's just a penny, hear me out. What if I told you that a 2016 D Lincoln penny could be worth up to $1.5 million? Yes, you heard that right, a single cent could buy you a mansion in Malibu or at least a really solid food truck in LA today. We're diving deep into one shiny little copper-coated coin that's flipping heads and turning wallets into gold mines, so sit back, grab the dusty coin jar from your shelf and let's talk money, as in serious money, all from one tiny penny. Alright, first things first, let's set the scene. The year is 2016. You're probably listening to Closer by the Chainsmokers on repeat and Pokemon Go as everyone running into traffic and random bushes. You grab a soda at the gas station and the cashier gives you change, nothing special, right? You toss the change into your car's cup holder and drive off, never knowing you might have just thrown away a fortune. One of those coins that slipped into circulation that year was the 2016 D Lincoln penny. The D of course stands for Denver. That mint mark is usually no big deal, but here's the twist: this specific 2016 D penny isn't your average everyday zinc-covered wannabe copper coin. Nope, this one's a unicorn in disguise. What makes it so special, you ask? Well, the rare version of this penny has some wild errors. Some of them are double dies where Lincoln's eye looks like he just saw his value on eBay. Others have off-center strikes making it look like the coin had one too many before going through the press, and some have crazy smooth planchets where the details are missing like someone forgot to hit save on Photoshop. Now let me tell you a little story. A few years ago I was cleaning out my grandpa's old toolbox, yes, toolbox, and there in a rusty Altoids tin I found a handful of coins. He used them to balance his level, whatever that means, and lo and behold, right there among the grease and dead spiders was a 2016 D penny. It looked off. I mean, the face of Lincoln was just a bit too Picasso. I almost tossed it, but I didn't, and that's when my obsession with error coins truly began. Now, did I get $1.5 million for it? Unfortunately no, it turned out to be worth around $45, which is still way more than 1 cent, and it bought me exactly 3.5 tacos, but the experience taught me something: these coins are hiding in plain sight, and if you don't look closely you'll never know what treasure you're holding. So what exactly pushes the value of the rare 2016 D Lincoln penny up to that mind-blowing $1.5 million? Let's break it down. Number one, it's got to be a mint error, but not just any error. We're talking significant stuff: double die, obverse cut errors, major off-center strike, and sometimes combinations of these. Number two, the condition matters. You want a coin that's in pristine shape. Think of it like a dating profile: no scratches, no stains, and definitely no weird green stuff. Number three, rarity. If only a few of these coins exist, you better believe collectors are lining up like it's the new iPhone launch and they're paying top dollar to get one. And let me tell you, collectors are a passionate bunch. Some of them are more intense than fantasy football fans during playoffs. They'll pay millions for that perfect coin, especially if it's been graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC at a high mint state like MS68 or higher. Now here's the kicker: most people have no clue they're holding onto a small fortune. That's the magic and the madness of coin collecting. You're looking for a needle in a haystack, but that needle could pay for a yacht or at least a new roof. Still not convinced you could find one? Here's something wild: coin dealers and collectors all over the country are actively buying rolls of pennies just to find that jackpot coin. Some even hit bank after bank asking for boxes of pennies and spending hours each week sorting through them. It's like the modern day gold rush, but with back pain and lots of eye strain. And hey, even if you don't strike it rich, you're still learning history, economics, and developing a new hobby that won't get you arrested unless you try to borrow coins from your local museum, which I do not recommend. So what have we learned today, folks? Number one, never underestimate the power of a penny. Number two, always check your change because you never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. And number three, keep your eyes peeled for that 2016 D mint mark Lincoln penny, because if you find the right one, you're looking at $1.5 million, give or take a few cents in taxes. Before we wrap up, here's my challenge to you: grab the jar of coins you've been ignoring for years. Go through every single penny you've got, especially those from 2016 with the little D under the date. You might just be sitting on a life-changing coin, and if you find it, send me a picture. We'll celebrate together, and by celebrate I mean we go coin shopping, because let's face it, once you're in this game you're hooked. And hey, if you had fun today, learned something new, or even chuckled once, do me a favor: hit that subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications so you never miss a coin that could make you rich, and share this video with a friend who thinks pennies are worthless, because we both know better now, don't we? Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where your loose change might just be looser than your neighbor's stories at a backyard barbecue. I'm about to blow your mind with something hiding right in your pocket, or maybe in your old dusty coin jar from 2001. Now let me ask you this: have you ever looked at a penny and thought, hey, this could be worth more than my car? Well, buckle up, because the 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny might just make you cancel your weekend plans and start flipping over every coin In your house, yep, you heard that right. This little copper-colored fella could be worth up to $1.7 million. That's a million with an M and a 7 with a whole lot of zeros behind it. And today we're diving deep into how and why this seemingly ordinary penny is causing collectors to lose their minds and empty their piggy banks. Alright, before we go full Indiana Jones on our coin collection, let's get one thing straight. The 2001 Lincoln penny is a modern coin, so naturally most people think it's probably worth face value. Right, wrong, so wrong. The no mint mark part means this penny was minted in Philadelphia. That's normal for Philly pennies because they usually don't carry a mint mark, unlike their Denver and San Francisco cousins, which proudly wear their little D and S like badges of honor. The Philly coins play it cool like they're too hip for labels now. What makes this particular 2001 no mint mark penny so darn valuable? Well, like every good treasure, there's a twist. This isn't just any old 2001 penny. It's a rare error coin with some very specific characteristics that collectors drool over. Weary talking misstrikes, doubled dies, off-center designs, or sometimes even a completely wrong planchet. Those are the blank metal discs before the design gets stamped. If one of these bad boys gets struck on the wrong metal, oh man, you're looking at some serious cash. There's one verified case where a 2001 penny was struck on a foreign coin planchet, making it thinner and lighter than usual. That penny was sold at auction for over $1.7 million. Imagine that, turning 1 cent into 7 figures. That's like turning ramen noodles into a 5-star steak dinner. But here's the kicker: most people walk right past these coins every single day. I mean, let me tell you a story. I was at a garage sale a few years back digging through an old tin of coins because, well, I'm that kind of guy, and the lady running the sale says, "Oh, those are just pennies, take a few, I use them for scratch tickets." So I scoop some up, take them home, and later that night I'm going through them with a magnifier and bam, I find a 2001 no mint mark penny that looks a little off, thinner, slightly weird rim, kinda lighter. I send it in for grading and get this, it's a rare planchet error worth thousands, not the $1 million one, but still I made more off that one penny than the garage sale made all day. So yeah, this stuff is real and it's happening to regular people like you and me. Now here's what to look for if you want to be the next person to find a golden penny in a copper disguise. Number 1, check the weight. A normal 2001 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If it's significantly less, you might have a planchet error on your hands. Number 2, look at the edges. If the rim looks off-centered or weak, that could be another sign. Number 3, look closely at Lincoln's face. If it looks doubled or weird, like he's had one too many espresso shots, you might have a doubled die error. And finally, check for off-metal colors. Some rare errors get struck on steel or foreign metals, and the tone of the coin will look way different than your standard reddish-brown penny. Now I know this all sounds a bit technical, but once you get into it, trust me, it's like hunting for treasure. You'll find yourself staring at coins in the checkout line like a detective looking for clues. I once caught myself inspecting a penny under a restaurant table light while my date just stared at me like I had completely lost my mind. Spoiler alert, I kind of had, but hey, priorities. Let's also talk about how to cash in if you find one of these unicorns. First stop is getting the coin graded. You want to send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give it a grade and verify the error. Once you have that certification, oh baby, you can list it for auction or sell it to a private collector. And yes, you'll want to insure it because losing a $1 million penny would hurt worse than stepping on Legos barefoot in the dark. Oh, and pro tip: if you do find one, please don't clean it. I know it's tempting to make it look shiny, but coin collectors want that original patina. They love the grunge, the dirt, the character. It's like trying to polish an antique. Just daunting. Now some of you might be thinking, the chances of finding one are like winning the lottery, and you're kind of right, but unlike the lottery, you can actually increase your odds with a little patience and a keen eye. Start checking your change regularly. Set aside all 2001 no mint mark pennies and give them a closer look every week. Visit coin shows, join online forums, connect with collectors, even start a TikTok account showing off your finds. That's what I did, and now I get free coins in the mail from people asking me to appraise them. It's a wild world out there. So there you have it, folks. The humble 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny might be the most exciting thing in your coin jar right now, and who knew a 1-cent coin could buy you a mansion, a yacht, and probably a lifetime supply of pizza rolls. Remember, the key is awareness. Take 5 minutes a day to check your change. You never know what's lurking in plain sight. This isn't just about money, it's about history, mystery, and the thrill of the hunt. And if you enjoyed this video or you've ever found a coin that made your heart skip a beat, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, tap the bell so you don't miss future videos, and leave me a comment telling me your wildest coin story. I love hearing from you guys. Stick around, because I've got more videos coming up on modern coins that are worth small fortunes, and I'll be dropping tips on how to identify them like a pro. Hey there, coin hunters and accidental millionaires in the making. Have you ever had one of those days where you're digging through your couch cushions looking for spare change for pizza, and you pull out a penny, just a regular old 2016 penny? Nothing special, right? Wrong. That little copper coin might just be worth $1.8 million. Yeah, you heard that right. 1.8 million. Now, before you start flipping your piggy bank upside down, sit tight. Because in today's video, we're diving deep into the mysterious world of the 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny and why it's making some people rich enough to buy 10 Teslas, a mini castle, and still have change for a large pepperoni pizza. Stick around, because I'll also tell you about a time I almost gave away a rare coin for a bag of chips. Spoiler, I didn't, and thank goodness for that. Okay, so what makes a regular-looking 2016 penny worth more than a beachfront condo? Simple. It's all about the no-mint mark. Most coins have a little letter stamped on them, like a D for Denver, P for Philadelphia, or S for San Francisco. But some of these 2016 pennies came out looking naked, no mint mark whatsoever, and now, that might sound like a mistake. And you'd be right. It was a mistake. But that's exactly what makes it so valuable. Coin collectors love minting errors. It's like finding a typo on a $100 bill, if that typo made the bill worth $1.8 million. What collectors call MS-70, meaning mint state perfection, this coin has sold at auction for as much as $1.8 million. That's not monopoly money, that's real cash. Even if your 2016 no-mint mark penny isn't in perfect shape, it could still be worth thousands. One sold for $10,000 in decent condition. Now I know what you're thinking, who's out there spending $1 million on a penny? The same people who buy a banana taped to a wall as art. But seriously, high-end collectors, museums, and wealthy coin enthusiasts are all about getting their hands on rare error coins, especially ones with historical or unusual significance. Second, flip it over and look under the year. Normally, you'd see a little letter. If it's blank, no P, D, or S, congrats, you might have a winner. And now, the condition is super important. If your penny looks like it's been through a blender, it might not be worth much. But if it still has that fresh off the mint shine, it's worth getting it graded. Don't clean it. Coin collectors like the natural age look, not a scrubbed up sparkle. Okay, let me tell you a quick story. A couple years ago, I was at this yard sale, the kind where someone's selling half a toaster and a lamp with no bulb. I saw a bowl of old coins for $0.25 each. I figured, hey, I'll grab a few for fun. I picked up a 2016 penny with no mint mark, thought it was weird, but tossed it in my glove compartment and forgot about it. Fast forward 6 months later, I was broke, tired, and hungry. I used that same penny at a vending machine to buy a bag of chips. I saw a news article about a 2016 no mint mark penny selling for over $1 million. I raced back to the vending machine like a man on a mission, but of course, it was gone. Just like my hopes and dreams. Learn from me. Don't underestimate your change. That penny might pay your mortgage, your car, and your grandkids' college. The coin market is actually booming. With more people collecting, especially since the pandemic, rare coins are becoming hot investments. And error coins like this one are the holy grail. Auction houses are always looking for the next big piece. The 2016 no-mint mark penny isn't just rare, it's a modern rarity. Most error coins that go for millions are from the 40s, 50s, or even earlier. This one's from less than a decade ago. That's like finding a Picasso painting in your garage, painted last Tuesday. Get it appraised by a reputable coin dealer. If you're serious, send it in to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. That official grade can skyrocket the value, then either hold on to it as an investment or sell it through a coin auction site. Just make sure you understand what you've got. I can't stress this enough, one small detail can be the difference between a penny and a Porsche. A 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that looks boring but could be worth more than your entire retirement plan. Coins are weird like that. 1 minute they're jingling in your pocket, the next they're turning you into a millionaire. And honestly, that's what I love about coin collecting. It's like treasure hunting, but you don't have to get dirty or fight pirates. If you enjoyed this little coin adventure, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and drop a comment if you've ever found a weird coin or nearly spent something valuable. I post weekly videos on coins worth money, smart collecting strategies, and hilarious stories of close calls and coin flips. Literally. So if you want to turn spare change into serious cash, join the crew. This is your sign to start checking your change jar, every drawer, every coat pocket. Hey there coin hunters and treasure seekers, welcome back to the channel where spare change might just spare your bank account. I've got a hot one for you today, and no, I'm not talking about fresh donuts at a police station, I'm talking about a penny. Yes, a single 2009 Lincoln Memorial penny. And before you start laughing, just know this baby has a market value of $1.8 million. Yeah, you heard me right, $1 million with an M and a few 100,000 more for fun. Now you're probably thinking, come on, it's just a 2009 penny. I've probably got a few rattling around in my car's cup holder covered in gum wrappers and old French fries, but here's the thing, not all pennies are created equal, and the one we're diving into today is special, like VIP red carpet, mint condition, and historical, all rolled into one. So grab your magnifying glasses and maybe check those penny jars, because we're about to uncover why the 2009 Lincoln birth and early childhood in Kentucky penny is worth more than some houses. Alright, let's roll the clock back to 2009. Remember that year Obama just took office. Everyone was obsessed with Twilight, and we were still trying to figure out how to use Twitter properly. Meanwhile, the US Mint decided to do something pretty cool to honor Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent. They released a series of 4 special reverse designs, each representing a different part of Honest Abe's life. The first one in the series, Birth and Early Childhood in Kentucky, shows a tiny log cabin surrounded by trees on the reverse side, which is just fancy talk for the back of the coin. This little cabin was meant to honor the humble beginnings of America's 16th president, who was born in a one-room log cabin in Kentucky. Cue the patriotic music. Now, if you're wondering how this adorable rustic cabin design went from pocket change to millionaire status, hold on to your hats. It's not just the design that makes this penny valuable, it's a combination of rare errors, extremely low mintage numbers, pristine condition, and good old-fashioned collector demand. So here's what makes this one so darn valuable. The most expensive versions of this penny tend to have a mint mark that sets them apart. Specifically, we're talking about the Philadelphia Mint, which actually doesn't display a mint mark at all. So if your 2009 penny has no little letter under the date, congrats, you might be holding the right kind. But wait, there's more. The truly rare ones are struck with errors like doubled dies, off-center strikes, or even struck on the wrong planchet. Basically, when the mint machines have a hiccup, the result is a jackpot for collectors. These errors, combined with high grades like MS67 or above, certified by big names like PCGS or NGC, make the value of these coins shoot up faster than gas prices during a holiday weekend. Now let me tell you a little story. I was at a garage sale once looking for vintage video games, and I see this old man selling jars of coins. I ask him how much for the whole jar. He shrugs and says, "Give me $10." I pay and don't think much of it until I get home and start digging through the crusty old change with my coffee in hand and a detective's gleam in my eye. And guess what? Nestled between a 1995 quarter and a Canadian dime was a 2009 Lincoln penny. It looked shiny new, so I did a little research, and boom, it was a birth and early childhood penny with no mint mark and in nearly flawless condition. I sent it off to get graded, and while mine wasn't the $1 million baby, it did snag me a few $100. Not bad for a coin that probably lived in someone's ashtray. This brings me to a crucial tip for all my viewers: check your change. People toss these coins aside thinking they're worthless, but you never know what's hiding in plain sight. If you find one in great condition with no mint mark or a weird error, get that sucker graded. You could be sitting on a treasure chest disguised as a Lincoln. Now, some of you might be wondering who would pay over $1 million for a penny. Well, the world of coin collecting is a wild place, my friends. Wealthy collectors will drop serious cash for rare items, especially if they complete a set or feature historical significance. And what's more historical than Abe Lincoln chilling in front of his childhood crib on a shiny copper coin? So there you have it, folks, the 2009 Lincoln birth and early childhood Kentucky penny. It may be small, but it's mighty, and in rare cases it's worth more than a Lamborghini. If you've got one sitting in a drawer or you're about to toss it into a tip jar, you might want to take a second look. You never know when that penny could be your ticket to financial freedom, or at least a really nice vacation. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you don't miss out on more coin collecting secrets and $1 million money tips. We've got tons more coin stories to uncover, and who knows, the next video might just help you retire early. And if you've ever found a crazy valuable coin, drop your story in the comments. I love hearing about your treasure hunts. Hey coin hunters, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential treasure maps. If you've ever glanced at a penny and thought, "Meh, just 1 cent," then my friend, buckle up, because today we're diving deep into a tiny little copper-colored legend that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yes, you heard me right, that little 1995 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny sitting at the bottom of your change jar could actually be your ticket to millionaire status. Let me tell you a quick story real quick. So I was at a garage sale a while back, just poking through some old boxes hoping to find an old Game Boy or something. Instead, I found this beat-up coffee tin full of old coins. The guy selling it said, "Take the whole thing for $5." I did. What I found inside changed my entire outlook on pennies forever. There it was, a 1995 penny with no mint mark, looked ordinary, scratched up even, but something about it seemed different. I looked it up, and folks, turns out I had stumbled across a coin that collectors go absolutely bananas over, and today I'm going to tell you why this specific penny is worth so much, how to spot one, and what to do if you think you found it too. Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. Alright, let's break this down. What's the deal with the 1995 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and why is it worth more than a Lamborghini? Let's start with a little Background: the no mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia, which usually doesn't put mint marks on pennies, so nothing weird there. Yet the value of this specific penny doesn't come from where it was minted, it comes from a very special feature. Drumroll please. The 1995 double die obverse. Yep, it's a doubling error. You heard of double vision? This is like that, but way more profitable, basically due to a mistake at the mint. Some of the pennies printed that year have a noticeable doubling in the inscriptions on the front of the coin, especially in the words Liberty and In God We Trust, and even the date shows some doubling. So you might be wondering, wait, what the heck is doubling and why do people go nuts over it? Well, it's a printing mistake and collectors love mistakes, like really love them. It's like when you find a rare Beanie Baby with the tag upside down. Suddenly it's not just a toy, it's a treasure. The same idea applies to coins. Now here's the thing, not every 1995 penny is worth big bucks. In fact, most of them are just good old 1-cent pieces. But if yours has the double die error in nice condition, especially in mint state, we're talking MS68 or higher, that's where the big money comes in. And when I say big, I mean $1 million big. A 1995 double die no mint mark Lincoln penny in top condition sold for $1.1 million at a private auction. Let me repeat that, $1.1 million for a penny. That's wild. Let me give you a couple of tips on how to spot the real deal. First, get yourself a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and look at the words on the front of the coin. If the letters, especially Liberty and In God We Trust, look kind of shadowy or like they have a ghost double behind them, congratulations, you might be holding something very special. Now let's talk condition, because just like with baseball cards or vintage video games, condition is everything. A coin in perfect mint state is way more valuable than one that's been hanging out in the junk drawer for 20 years with gum stuck to it. So if you think you've got the real deal, don't go spending it on a pack of gum. Get that coin graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you exactly what you've got and how much it's worth. Oh, and pro tip, don't clean the coin. I know it's tempting to shine it up real nice, but that actually ruins its value. Leave the dirt on there, let it wear its age like a badge of honor. Let me bring you back to that garage sale story I told you earlier. So I took that coin to a local coin shop and the guy behind the counter squints at it, looks up at me and says, "Where did you find this?" I thought I was in trouble. I was like, in a coffee can, sir." He smiles and goes, "You might want to get this graded." I was on cloud nine. I walked out of there feeling like Indiana Jones with a treasure map. So how rare is it exactly? Well, it's not super rare in general, but finding one in pristine condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. That's where the value jumps through the roof. And yes, the market has its ups and downs, but high-grade examples have been fetching tens of thousands consistently, and that legendary 7-figure sale is proof that if you've got the right coin at the right time with the right buyer, boom, instant wealth. So there you have it, folks, the 1995 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, the humble little coin that could be your golden ticket to the millionaire club. Who knew Honest Abe had it in him? Right now, before you rush to flip over your couch cushions and raid your piggy banks, remember this: it's not just about luck, it's about knowing what to look for. And now that you do, you've got an edge. You're officially part of the coin collecting elite, or at least a very cool nerd squad that understands coin values. If you liked this video and want more tips, tricks, and coin hunting strategies that can actually put money in your pocket, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and drop a comment below. If you think you might have a valuable coin hiding in plain sight, trust me, I've got way more where this came from. We're talking nickels worth thousands, quarters that can buy a car, and of course more pennies that could change your life 1 cent at a time. Alright, I'm out of here, time to go dig through my couch cushions again. This has been your friendly neighborhood coin nerd signing off. Hey there, coin lovers. Let me ask you this: what's the most you've ever found in your couch cushions? A few coins, a lost key, maybe a receipt for a pizza from 2017? Well, imagine if you pulled out a coin worth $1.2 million. Yeah, I know, sounds like a total fantasy, right? I'm talking about the 1964 D-Mint mark Lincoln penny. That's right, a penny that could make you a lot of dough if you've got the right one. And today, I'm going to dive deep into why this coin is so valuable, what makes it different from your everyday pocket change, and, of course, how you might just have one of these bad boys hiding in your collection. So grab a snack, sit back, and let's talk about how your change jar could be hiding a true treasure. You're probably wondering, why on earth is a penny from 1964 worth $1.2 million? I mean, 1964 is a pretty long time ago, but it's not like it's an ancient coin, right? It's not like you're holding onto a Roman denarius or an old-school pirate doubloon. Not all pennies are created equal. Some pennies, like the 1964 D, are just a little more special. First off, this penny was produced in 1964, the final year the U.S. Mint struck the pure copper Lincoln pennies. That makes it a classic. You see, after 1964, they switched to a copper-coated zinc planchet, which is a whole different ballgame. So, in a way, owning a 1964 D is like holding onto a piece of history. And now, not every 1964 D penny is worth $1.2 million. Oh no, no. But if your 1964 penny has a certain set of characteristics, it could be extremely valuable. We're talking about things like being in mint condition, maybe even with some rare errors that make it stand out from the rest. Think of it like the difference between a regular cup of coffee and that fancy $5 cup of coffee with a little latte art on top. Same base, but one is clearly worth more, but here's where it gets fun. A typical 1964 penny, while still worth a lot more than its face value, let's say, a few cents, won't fetch millions unless it has a unique error or defect. The true high-value ones are the ones with minting mistakes, things like double die errors, which make them look slightly different from the regular ones. And let's be honest, who doesn't like a good mistake? If you've ever been to a high school math test, you know a mistake can sometimes work in your favor. When we're talking about a 1964 penny with a hefty price tag, we're looking at a well-preserved coin with unique features. The best examples have been kept in excellent condition, often graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, which is where the big bucks come in. But even a penny with a slightly off-center mint mark, a little doubling in the design, or a few other distinctive imperfections can be worth a lot more than you might think. Well, the first step is to take a look at its condition. The higher the grade, the higher the value. If you've got one that's still shiny and crisp, almost like it just came out of the mint, then congratulations, you might just be sitting on a gold mine. Or, should I say, a copper mine. Now, let me share a little personal story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my grandma's attic and came across a ton of old coins. I thought, these are just junk. But I decided to take a closer look, because, sometimes even junk can turn out to be treasure. Right there, tucked away in a dusty old tin box, was a single 1964 penny. I almost tossed it aside without thinking. I mean, it looked pretty beat up. But then, I remembered reading about these valuable coins and thought, what the heck, I'll check it out. Turns out, my old penny wasn't worth millions, but it did have a nice little bump in value thanks to its near-perfect condition. A couple $100? I'll take it. It's crazy how a little research can turn your old clutter into cash. Moral of the story, don't just toss your coins away because they look old or worn out. You never know what could be hiding in there, so let's wrap this up. The 1964 Lincoln penny may not seem like the kind of coin you'd look at twice, but with a little attention and knowledge, it could be worth much more than you ever imagined. It's all about understanding what makes it special, whether it's its copper content, its minting errors, or just its perfect preservation over the years. And listen, if you're into coins and want to learn more about how to spot these hidden treasures, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm bringing you all the tips and tricks on valuable coins that could be sitting right under your nose. Trust me, you'll want to know what to look for, because it's way more fun to find treasure than just random change. And, hey, if you do find that 1964 penny worth millions, I won't be mad if you send me a thank you card. Hey everyone, I'm so glad you're here. Imagine this, you're just chilling, going through some old pennies you found in your couch cushions or maybe at a garage sale. Most of them are worth a couple of cents, right? But then, you come across one that might just change your life. And I'm not talking about a shiny new penny, no. I'm talking about a rare 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Sounds too good to be true? Well, buckle up, because this penny is currently worth a whopping $1.3 million. Yep, you heard me right, $1.3 million. Now, let's talk about how you could turn a simple coin into a small fortune. Stick with me, and I'll break it all down for you, with some insider tips and a few laughs along the way. So, if you're ready to learn how to spot a treasure in your pocket change, grab your magnifying glass and let's dive in. Alright, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny. You might be thinking, wait, isn't a penny just a penny? Well, that's what I thought too, until I found out that these little guys can actually be worth more than some people's cars, homes, even some private islands. It's crazy how something so small and seemingly insignificant can turn into a goldmine. In 1998, the U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies. Most of them were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, but here's the kicker, some of these pennies were not stamped with a mint mark. Now, typically, the mint mark tells you where the penny was made. But for some reason, in 1998, there were a few pennies that slipped through the cracks. These were supposed to be marked with a P for Philadelphia, but, whoops, no mint mark. And that's what makes them so valuable today. Well, you're in luck. The no mint mark penny looks almost identical to a normal 1998 penny, but it has no P on it. You'll need a really sharp eye and maybe a magnifying glass to spot the difference, but trust me, it's worth it. Imagine it, folks. You're digging through your old coin jar, maybe you have one of those jars filled with pennies from your childhood or that random pile from your latest trip to the flea market, and you see one of these little beauties. No mint mark? Hold on to it. That penny might just be worth over $1 million, just sitting in your pocket like a forgotten treasure. Now, let's talk about the value. We're talking about a market value of around $1.3 million for a 1998 no mint mark penny. But here's the thing, not every 1998 penny is going to be worth that much, and that's where the rarity factor comes into play. Only a few of these pennies were minted without the mark, so they're extremely rare. And the rarer the coin, the higher the price. Coin collectors, dealers, and investors will pay top dollar for these bad boys, so keep your eyes peeled. I'll tell you a story to put this all into perspective. A few years ago, I found an old jar of coins at a yard sale for like $5. Nothing special, I thought, just a bunch of random coins. But one day, on a whim, I decided to take a closer look. After a few hours of sorting through pennies, I found a 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny. I thought, hey, maybe this one's worth a couple of bucks. Fast forward to me running to the coin shop and bam, it was like the jackpot had just dropped into my lap. Turned out, it was worth more than I could ever imagine. Now, I don't want to hype you up too much, but that was the moment I realized how crazy this coin game is. So, here's the deal, folks, if you ever find a 1998 penny that doesn't have a mint mark, don't just toss it into your change jar or, worse, spend it. Take a second to check it out. It could be your ticket to a small fortune. But, remember, finding these pennies isn't as easy as just picking one up off the ground. You've got to stay sharp, check your change, and maybe even go on a little treasure hunt of your own. Who knows, you might just strike gold, or in this case, copper. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got loads more coin tips and tricks coming your way. So, if you want to learn about other rare coins worth a ton of money, like how to spot that $1 million penny or the top 5 rare coins hiding in your change jar, stay tuned. You definitely don't want to miss what's next. Hey coin lovers and casual change checkers, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential fortune and have a few laughs along the way. Now I know what you're thinking, what in the world could possibly make a 2060 Lincoln penny worth $14 million? Yep, you heard me right, 1.4 million American dollars for a penny that you might have used to buy gum back in the day. Stick around because today we're diving deep into the story behind this $1 million Lincoln penny. We'll talk value history, what makes it so special, and I'll even share a little embarrassing story about how I once almost spent a valuable coin without knowing it. Spoiler alert, it involved a vending machine and a lot of regret, so grab your coin jar, your coffee, or whatever weird snack you're munching on and let's get into it. Alright, let's talk about the 2060 mint mark Lincoln penny. First things first, that little D below the date means it was minted in Denver, which usually isn't that rare. Denver mints millions of these things every year, but here's where it gets juicy. Not all 2060 pennies are created equal. There's one specific penny that sold for an insane $14 million because of a super rare minting error combined with pristine condition and, oh yeah, a little dash of collector craze. Now normally a 2060 penny is worth just 1 cent unless it's got something special going on, and boy did this one have it. We're talking about a coin that was struck on the wrong planchet. Meaning it wasn't even supposed to be a penny, it ended up on a blank meant for a different coin entirely. Imagine that, it's like showing up to a wedding in a Halloween costume by accident and everyone loves you for it. That's this penny. It's a total misfit, but in the best way possible. Now let's add to the drama. This particular penny was graded MS70 by a professional grading service. That's a perfect score. Mint state 70 means it's flawless, not a scratch, not a smudge. It probably looks better than your reflection in a freshly clean mirror. Collectors go nuts for perfection, especially when combined with rarity and errors, so you've got all the elements right there. A rare minting mistake, a perfect condition, and just enough mystery to make it legendary. Let's talk about market value right now. As of today, the last known sale of this beauty clocked in at a jaw-dropping $14 million. That's a whole mansion, a few luxury cars, a lifetime supply of tacos. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Now here's where I gotta share something personal. A few years ago I found a shiny penny in my couch cushions. Didn't think much of it at first, but the date caught my eye, 2060. I got excited real fast because I just read an article about rare modern pennies. So what did I do? I did what any self-respecting coin nerd would do. I squinted at it under my phone flashlight, googled everything I could, and even posted a blurry pic on a coin Forum spoiler alert, mine was just a regular penny, but for a hot minute I thought I was a millionaire, and the kicker, I had almost used it earlier that day to pay for a pack of gum at a gas station. So let that be a lesson, friends. Always check your change. You never know when you're one coin away from a life-changing surprise. By the way, if you ever want to know if your penny is the jackpot, keep an eye out for errors, wrong metal, off-center strikes, or anything that looks out of the ordinary. And if you do find something interesting, get it graded by a legit grading company. It could be worth a fortune, or at the very least make a great story. So there you have it, folks, the 2006 Lincoln penny, one of the most unexpected $1 million coins in recent history. Who knew Honest Abe would be out here casually turning people into millionaires? Remember, this coin's value came from a combination of rarity, a perfect grade, and a crazy minting mistake. So while not every 2006 penny is worth a fortune, it's always worth checking, because hey, weird things happen at the mint, and those weird things can make you rich. If you learned something today, had a laugh, or now feel an uncontrollable urge to dig through your coin jar, then do me a solid, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button like you're flattening a soda can, and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on a coin that could change your life. And hey, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a weird coin, or do you have a story about a coin you wish you hadn't spent? Let's swap tales. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where your loose change might just be your lucky lottery ticket. Alright, so picture this: you're digging through the couch cushions looking for the TV remote, and instead you pull out an old copper penny from 1966. You glance at it, shrug, toss it in your pocket, and forget about it. But hold up, that little coin you almost used to prop up a wobbly table leg might just be worth a whopping $1.5 million. Yeah, you heard me right, not one, not five, but $1.5 million for a single penny. You don't need a treasure map, you just need to check your change. So stick around, because we're diving deep into the mystery, the history, and the massive value of the 1966 no mint mark Lincoln penny. And hey, don't worry, I'm not about to hit you with a history lecture, just some fun facts, a few laughs, and maybe a personal story or two that'll make you check your coin jar tonight. First off, let's talk about what this coin even is. The 1966 Lincoln penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series. You know, the one with Honest Abe just chillin' on the front, looking like he's pondering why people keep tossing him into vending machines. Now, the first thing that might catch your eye about the 1966 penny is that there's no mint mark on it. No D, no S, nothing. But don't panic, that's not a mistake or a defect. Back in the mid-60s, the US Mint was dealing with a coin shortage and decided, hey, let's make life confusing and remove the mint marks for a few years so people wouldn't hoard coins based on mint location. So no mint mark doesn't automatically mean it's rare, but some of these 1966 pennies are worth a small fortune, and here's why. Most of the 1966 pennies were made with a copper composition and millions were struck. So what makes some of them stand out? Well, it's all about the condition, the variety, and whether they have any weird little quirks. And we're not talking about your Uncle Steve who still wears socks with sandals kind of quirks. I mean legit mint errors. There are 1966 pennies out there with off-center strikes, double dies, and even a few rumored transitional errors that were struck on the wrong metal planchets. Those are the jackpot coins, the ones collectors dream about. Combine a rare error with a perfect or near perfect grade like MS-67 or higher, and boom, that's how you land $1 million penny. Alright, now let me tell you a quick story. A couple years ago, I was helping my dad clean out his old garage. You know, that kind of garage where every drawer has a screwdriver, a rusty nail, and exactly 3 mystery pennies covered in sawdust. Well, I found this little cup of coins, and being the coin nerd I start sorting through them for fun. Suddenly I spot a 1966 penny, and I kid you not, my heart skipped a beat. I ran inside, grabbed my magnifier, and started looking for doubling errors, mint mistakes, anything. Spoiler alert, it wasn't the $1 million one, but man, for those few minutes I was already mentally yacht shopping. One verified 1966 Lincoln penny with exceptional color, pristine condition, and a slight misstrike recently went for over $1.5 million in a private auction. That's life-changing money. That's pay off your house, buy a new house, fill that new house with snacks kind of money. Now, if you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna go through all my coins tonight, good, that's the idea. But before you get too excited, remember the $1 million versions are super rare. Still, there are hundreds of 1966 pennies worth hundreds or even thousands depending on condition and errors. So even if you don't hit the million mark, you might still get yourself a nice payday, or at least enough for a few pizzas, and let's be honest, that's still a win. Let's break it down real quick for value spotting. First, look for any weirdness, doubling on the letters, extra thickness, off-center designs. Second, check the color. Bright red uncirculated coins are worth way more than dull brown ones. Third, consider grading it if it looks pristine. Getting it graded by a professional like PCGS or NGC can make a huge difference in resale value. People want proof before they drop six figures on a penny, and if you're really into it, start checking rolls from the bank or ask grandma if she has any old jars full of coins. Grandmas always have treasure and banana bread. It's a proven fact, alright. So to wrap this up, the 1966 no-mint mark Lincoln penny might look like just another coin, but under the right circumstances it could be worth up to $1.5 million. It's proof that sometimes the biggest treasures are hiding in plain sight, maybe even in your pocket right now. So here's your homework: grab a flashlight, a magnifying glass, and go on a coin hunt. You never know what you'll find, and if you do, strike it rich. Hey, remember who sent you down the rabbit hole. If you enjoyed this video and you want more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money and how to spot them, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss the next big find. I've got more awesome coin secrets coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Thanks for hanging out with me, and remember, next time you hear someone say a penny for your thoughts, make sure it's a 1966 Lincoln penny, because your thoughts might be worth $1.5 million. Hey folks, ever dream of finding a treasure in your pocket? No, I'm not talking about that crumpled dollar bill you found in your laundry. I'm talking about a small copper coin that could literally change your life. Imagine this: you're rummaging through your change jar, the one that's been collecting dust on top of the fridge since 2003, and boom, there it is, a plain OL looking penny with a little D underneath, the year 1979, and guess what? That tiny piece of metal could be worth a jaw-dropping $16 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.6 million for a penny. That's like buying a lottery ticket and actually winning. So today we're diving headfirst into the wild story of the 1979 D-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, why it's so insanely valuable, what makes it special, how you can spot one, and yep, you bet, I've got a funny personal story about one that slipped through my fingers years ago that still haunts me. So grab your coin jars, get comfy, maybe even pour yourself a drink, cause this ain't your average coin talk. This is penny treasure hunting with style. Alright, let's kick it off with the basics. What's up with this 1979 D Lincoln penny, and why is everyone freaking out about it? So this penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mark right underneath the year. The D might look tiny, but oh boy does it make a big difference. Now most 1979 D pennies are pretty normal, they're copper plated, zinc, nothing too wild, but here's the thing: a very small batch had some serious minting mistakes and were struck on the wrong planchets, or had doubled dies or other funky errors that made them super rare and highly collectible. Collectors go nuts over these error coins, and when I say nuts, I mean full on bananas, throwing money around like confetti at a New Year's party. So what kind of errors are we talking about? Glad you asked, my fellow coin detective. Some 1979 D pennies were struck on leftover planchets from foreign coins like the ones used in South America or the Philippines. Others had dramatic doubling on the date and the mint mark, making them look like they've had one too many espressos. These rare variations are insanely hard to find, but if you do, buddy, you're looking at a payday of up to $16 million. That's not pocket change, that's private island money. Now let's talk about condition and grading, because it matters more than whether or not you bring snacks to a road trip to be worth millions. Your 1979 D penny needs to be in tip-top shape. I'm talking mint state condition, no scratches, no finger smudges, no chewing gum stuck on it. It needs to shine brighter than my Uncle Larry's bald head on a summer afternoon. Coin grading agencies like PCGS and NGC rate coins on a scale from 1 to 70. If your coin hits the 67 to 70 range, you're looking at big bucks. Below that value drops faster than a dropped ice cream cone on a hot day. First, check the mint mark D under the year. Make sure it's clear, sharp, and not too mushy. D's are a no-go. Second, look for any doubling on the date or letters. If Abe Lincoln's profile looks like he's got a shadow clone, that's a very good thing. Third, weigh it. A regular penny weighs about 25 grams. If it's off even slightly, it could mean it was struck on a different planchet, and that's where the value skyrockets. A few years back, I was helping my grandma roll pennies. You know, one of those rainy day tasks that turns into a full-on bonding experience. She's over there humming old Elvis tunes. I'm over here halfway asleep rolling coins like a robot, when bam, I spot a 1979 D. I pick it up, hold it to the light, and it looks different. Something about it feels off: the color, the shine, the weight. My inner voice was screaming, check it, you idiot. But what did I do? I shrugged, put it in the roll, and kept going. Grandma was talking about potato salad, and I lost focus. A few weeks later, I saw a YouTube video just like this one talking about the 1979 D penny and its insane value. I almost fainted. I ran back to her house, dug through every coin roll like a man possessed, but it was gone. Some lucky soul probably spent it on a vending machine burrito, and now it's floating around somewhere in the universe just waiting to be discovered. Moral of the story: don't ignore your pennies, folks. They may be small, but they can be mighty rich. Let's not forget where these coins came from too. The late 70s were a funky time. We had disco bell-bottoms and an economy that was, well, let's just say, unpredictable, so pennies were still being made with real copper in early 1982, but by 79 they were transitioning and experimenting with different compositions. That's why some of these coins ended up with these rare mistakes. Now you might be wondering, where can I sell it if I find one? You've got a few options. One of the best is to send it off to a grading service first, like PCGS or NGC. Then if it comes back with a high grade, you can list it at major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers, or you can find private collectors who will pay good money. Especially if the coin has that error or mint condition shine. But whatever you do, don't try to clean it. I repeat, do not grab a toothbrush and toothpaste thinking you're doing it a favor. You'll ruin it faster than microwaving a burrito still in its wrapper. Instead, handle it by the edges, keep it in a coin flip or capsule, and store it somewhere safe, not in your sock drawer next to your old Game Boy games. Alright, my coin loving friends, we've taken a wild ride today, from dusty old change jars to $1,000,000 pennies and one very regretful coin roll story. The 1979 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is proof that you don't need a metal detector or a pirate map to find treasure. Sometimes all you need is a little curiosity, a good eye, and a pinch of luck. So next time you're digging for quarters to pay for parking, take a second to peek at those pennies. They might just be worth more than your car. And if you liked hanging out, learning about hidden coin gold mines, and laughing at my coin related heartbreaks, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Tap the bell so you never miss another episode of Coin Treasure Hunting, and drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin, or maybe one got away? Tell me your story. I'll be crying into my coin jar reading them. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep your eyes on your change, cause the next $1,000,000 penny might already be in your pocket. Alright folks, let me ask you a quick question. What if I told you that a single penny could change your life forever? Nope, not metaphorically. I'm talking about a literal penny. A 1-cent coin. The kind you ignore on the sidewalk or toss in your car's cup holder without a second thought. Yeah, that one. Now picture this. You're digging through your junk drawer looking for batteries or tape or a pen that actually works, and boom, you stumble on a 1994 penny. No mint mark. Just chillin'. Looks like any old coin, right? But guess what? That little guy could be worth a staggering $1.7 million. That's right. $1.7 million. For a single, regular-looking penny. Welcome back to the channel where we make sense out of coins, literally. Today, we're diving deep into the mysterious and money-making world of the 1994 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. So grab your coffee, kick back, and get ready for a wild ride through history, errors, shiny copper, and my own weird story about accidentally trying to spend a rare coin on vending machine snacks. True story. We'll get there. Alright, let's break it down. The 1994 Lincoln penny, also known as the coin nobody really cared about, until recently. At first glance, it's your standard issue penny. It's got Abe Lincoln on the front looking all serious like he's about to give another Gettysburg address, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. No biggie, right? But here's the kicker. Some of these pennies from 1994 came out without a mint mark. And that might not seem like a big deal, but in the coin collecting world, that's like discovering a unicorn wearing sunglasses riding a skateboard. Now, most pennies are made at either the Philadelphia Mint or the Denver Mint. Coins from Denver get a little D, and Philly's coins either get a P or nothing at all. So yes, technically, no mint mark usually means it came from Philly. But, and this is a big but, the real money is in the rare errors and the near-perfect conditions. See, in 1994, something funky happened. A few of these no-mint mark Lincoln pennies were struck in such flawless condition, with rare die errors or composition anomalies, that collectors went absolutely bananas. One of these coins was found to be so pristine and unusual, it went to auction and sold for, wait for it, $1.7 million. Let me say that again in case your brain just skipped a beat. 1 penny sold for $1.7 million. That's enough to buy a house, a Lambo, pay off your student loans, and still have enough left to finally splurge on extra guac at Chipotle without flinching. Now you might be wondering, how the heck do I know if I've got one of these magical coins? We're talking mint state condition here. Like, never been touched, fresh out of the vault, could be on a coin commercial kind of condition. Some coins have weird little mistakes from the minting process. Off-center strikes, double dies, missing layers, or even zinc streaks can send the value through the roof. Most 1994 pennies were made from zinc coated in copper. But if you've got a full copper one, now that's rare. You can test it by weighing it. Copper pennies weigh about 3.1 grams, zinc ones weigh about 2.5 grams. Don't be tossing out the heavy ones, alright? So a few years back, I was broke. Like, checking the couch cushions for quarters broke. I had this little stash of pennies I kept in a coffee can, just in case. I remember grabbing a few to grab a Snickers from the vending machine at work. Well, a few weeks later, I got into coin collecting and started watching videos, maybe just like you're doing now, and I realized I'd spent a 1994 no-mint mark penny that was in amazing shape. I swear, it had that perfect copper shine, not a single scratch, and it weighed more than it should have. To this day, I picture that vending machine guy, probably a millionaire now, rolling in my penny riches. Let that be a lesson. Always check your change before you chow down on overpriced vending snacks. Let's talk about why these pennies are so valuable. It's all about rarity and demand. When a collector sees a rare coin in excellent condition with a known error or oddity, they'll do anything to get it. We're talking bidding wars, private sales, coin shows with velvet gloves. It's dramatic, trust me. So now you're probably raiding your piggy banks and flipping your couch cushions. Good. That's what you should be doing. Look, the moral of the story is simple: don't underestimate the power of pocket change. That boring old penny in your drawer could literally pay for your dream vacation, your house, your car, or your entire retirement. So take a moment. Dig through your change jar. Check those 1994 pennies. Look for the no mint mark. Weigh them. Study them. You could be holding a fortune and not even know it. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want more money-making coin tips. I've got plenty more videos coming your way. Lincoln cents, Buffalo nickels, quarters worth more than your rent. We're uncovering all the hidden treasure one coin at a time. Smash that like button if you had fun today, share this with a fellow coin nerd or treasure hunter, and drop a comment if you've got a cool coin story. I love reading them. Hey, coin hunters and everyday treasure seekers, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential paydays. Now let me ask you this: when was the last time you really looked at your pennies? I mean, really took the time to check those little copper coins hiding in your couch cushions or in your car's cup holder? Because what if I told you that one of those ordinary looking 2003 Lincoln pennies with no mint mark could actually be worth more than a Lamborghini? Yeah, you heard me right, $1.8 million. That's not a typo, that's not a scam, that's not even a clickbait title, that's cold hard collectible cash. So buckle up, friends, because today we're diving deep into the mystery, the rarity, and the $1 million magic of the 2003 no mint mark Lincoln penny. And trust me, you're gonna want to stick around, because by the end of this video you might just be sprinting to your coin jar. Alright, so first things first, let's break down what this coin is all about. The 2003 Lincoln penny is part of the classic Lincoln Memorial series that ran from 1959 to 2008, and in 2003 the US Mint pumped out millions of these bad boys from different locations including Denver and Philadelphia. Now here's the twist: the ones from Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark, so when we say no mint mark we're talking about those coins. But here's where things get spicy. One specific 2003 no mint mark Lincoln penny somehow made it out of the mint with an unusual composition and striking error. And it's this bizarre combination that's making collectors lose their minds and wallets over it. So why is this particular penny worth more than your house, your car, your cousin's college debt? Because of its insane rarity and a perfect storm of mint error weirdness. We're talking about a coin struck on the wrong metal planchet combined with a dramatic double die error in near perfect condition. I was at a garage sale one Saturday, one of those where the smell of old books and slightly burnt popcorn is in the air. I'm rummaging through a bowl of random coins and paper clips, just doing my coin nerd thing. I spot the super shiny penny. It looked newer than the rest. I flip it over and sure enough it's a 2003 Lincoln penny, no mint mark. I snagged the whole bowl for $2. I am thinking maybe I'll find a wheat penny or something. Nope, instead I get home, I look closer with my magnifier and my heart almost stops. The coin had doubling on Lincoln's face and a weird color to it. I send it in to be graded, and guess what? Okay, mine wasn't the $1 million version, but it got graded and was worth a few $100. Not bad for something that cost me less than a pack of gum. Now imagine the person who did find the one worth $1.8 million. It was discovered in a private collection by a guy who thought it was just a shiny lucky penny. Turns out his luck was next level. The reason this one is so valuable is that it was struck on a bronze planchet instead of the normal copper-plated zinc. That's like putting an engine from a Ferrari into a lawnmower, and the minting error itself was crystal clear, visible doubling on Lincoln's eye jawline and the date with super crisp details, and it was graded MS68, which is like the Olympic gold medal of coin grading. Now let's pause for a second and talk grading, because if you're out here hoping to find your own $1 million penny, you gotta know what to look for when it comes to condition. Coin collectors are like picky dating app users, they swipe left on anything scratched, scuffed, or dull. They want shiny, symmetrical, sharp edges and zero drama. If you think your coin might be something special, get it graded by a professional like PCGS or NGC, and know your cousin who has a magnifying glass doesn't count. Oh, and pro tip, always hold coins by the edge. If you touch the face, you're basically rubbing the value off with your greasy snack fingers. This 2003 no mint Mark Lincoln penny hit the coin auction scene like a surprise guest at a wedding, and collectors went bonkers. It sold for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million, and since then collectors have been on the hunt like it's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Coin Doom. Here's the deal though, most 2003 pennies are only worth their face value unless they've got the special sauce era rarity grade. All three are needed to hit that $1 million jackpot. Start by checking your change. Look at every 2003 penny you find. If there's no mint marked, that's step one. Then look for doubling on Lincoln's face, especially the eye and mouth. Check the edges, see if the coin feels heavier or looks like a weird shade of bronze compared to regular pennies. If you're seeing anything suspicious, don't freak out yet. Take clear photos and send them in to a coin expert or grading service. Worst case, you wasted 5 minutes. Best case, you just found your retirement plan. And let me tell you, something magical happens the first time you find a coin that's worth more than a few bucks. It's like striking oil in your pocket. Change, it's addictive, it's exciting, it's the kind of thing you'll start doing in line at the grocery store. I once embarrassed myself in public because I saw someone drop a penny. I dove for it like it was the last slice of pizza at a party. It wasn't worth anything, but hey, you miss 100% of the coins you don't check. Right now some of y'all might be thinking, come on, who has time to check pennies? Well, if you've ever binge watched a show about baking cakes shaped like shoes, you've got time to check a couple coins. Never underestimate the power of the penny. The 2003 no mint Mark Lincoln penny hiding under your couch cushion could be worth $1.8 million. That's more than most of us make in a decade. All it takes is a little curiosity, a little patience, and maybe a magnifying glass the size of your enthusiasm. Now, if you enjoyed this dive into the wonderful weird world of rare coins, do me a huge favor and smash that subscribe button like it's a vending machine that stole your last dollar. Hit the bell so you don't miss out on future videos about coins that could change your life, your wallet, and maybe your wardrobe, because let's be honest, you're gonna need fancier pants if you find one of these $1 million beauties. And leave a comment if you've ever found a coin that made your jaw drop. I wanna hear your stories, your finds, your wild what if moments. Okay, before you run to the nearest vending machine with that pile of change in your car's cup holder, stop right there. What if I told you that one of those rusty looking pennies could be worth up to $1.8 million? Yeah, you heard that right. I said million, with an M. Today, we're diving deep into the mysterious and ridiculously valuable 2009 Lincoln Memorial penny, specifically the presidency design minted in Denver. Oh, and we're also shining a spotlight on a no mint Mark Lincoln penny from that same year that's somehow pulling in a cool $1.8 million in the collector world. And now, before you start imagining quitting your job and buying a llama farm in the Rockies, we gotta talk about what makes these pennies so special, what to look for, how to find them, and most importantly, how to know if you're sitting on a fortune. So grab a drink, kick back, and let's nerd out about some small copper coins that are making big bank. Alright, let's go back to 2009. That year, the US Mint released 4 special designs to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent. The 4 coins tell the story of Honest Abe's life, from his log cabin roots to his presidential days. That's the one we care about today. The Presidency penny. It shows the unfinished dome of the U.S. Capitol, symbolizing a nation under construction and a presidency under pressure. Poetic, right? Most of these coins are just worth a penny. Maybe a few cents if they're shiny. But there are some outliers, big outliers. Let's talk about the Denver Mint version, 2009D. This guy is no ordinary penny. Some versions of this coin have incredible errors or rare features that collectors drool over. A coin that looks like it was minted yesterday, without a scratch or fingerprint on it? That can fetch hundreds, sometimes thousands. And if you're really lucky and find a near-perfect specimen with a rare error, you're looking at hundreds of thousands, maybe even close to that $1.8 million mark. Yes, that's what happened to one collector. This dude picked up a roll of pennies from his local bank, just doing normal coin roll hunting, and boom, found a nearly flawless 2009 presidency penny with a super rare die error. Auction houses went nuts. The coin eventually fetched $1.8 million at a private sale, the mysterious no mint Mark Lincoln penny worth $1.80 million. Now let's chat about the no mint Mark Lincoln penny from 2009. This one is kind of the unicorn in the coin world. Usually, no mint Mark just means it was made in Philly. Not rare, right? But this one's different. There's a certain batch of 2009 Lincoln pennies, no mint mark, that were struck with such perfect precision, plus a bizarre error in the design detail, that collectors have gone full Sherlock Holmes trying to find them. We're talking about coins with flawless surfaces, microscopic doubling, or other freaky minting quirks. One such coin, graded by a top-tier agency, sealed like a time capsule, was discovered in a coin jar just like the one on your dresser. It was authenticated and eventually sold for $1.8 million in a private deal. Let that sink in. Someone turned a penny into a mansion. Or 5 Teslas. Or a lifetime supply of tacos. My almost $1 million mistake. Okay, story time. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my car and found this super shiny penny jammed between the seat and the console. I mean, this thing glowed. My first thought? Cool, free money. I threw it in my pocket and used it at a gas station. A week later, I started diving into coin collecting and saw a picture of a 2009 presidency penny worth serious cash. My stomach dropped. I swear, it looked exactly like the one I spent on a bag of M&Ms. Now, was it the $1 million penny? Probably not. But what if it was? That 89-cent candy could have cost me a private island. What you should be looking for. Let's get practical. You want to know how to tell if your 2009 penny is the one. Here's your checklist. If it shows the US Capitol building, congrats, it's the presidency design. The shinier and more perfect it looks, the better. Use a magnifier and check for doubling, odd shapes, misalignments, cracks. Grading. If it looks amazing, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They're the gatekeepers to big value, and remember, even if you don't find the coin, there's a whole bunch of 2009 pennies worth $50, $100, even $500 if they're in top shape. That's still a way better return than, well, most investments. Ask banks for rolls of pennies. Yes, people still do that. Hit up garage sales, estate sales, and antique shops. Trade or buy from local coin shops or shows.so. Next time someone says it's just a penny, you hit them with the facts. That little copper coin could be your ticket to millionaire status. The 2009 Lincoln presidency penny and the no mint mark 2009 Lincoln penny aren't just collector's items, they're potential life changers. I mean, who knew something you could find under your couch cushions might be worth more than a Lamborghini? Now, before you dash off to ransack your piggy bank, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm dropping more coin tips, treasure hunting tricks, and insider knowledge on how to turn pocket change into serious cash. Tap the bell so you don't miss out, because who knows? The next coin I talk about might be sitting in your wallet right now, and hey, if you do find something amazing, drop a comment. I'd love to hear your story, and who knows? Maybe I'll feature it in the next video.